How dare you? On this, the day of my daughter's wedding?
I'm glad we finally get to meet Misha's sister.
Michelle.
How's it going in the far north, Misha?
It's going.
Are things still on fire near you?
They're not actually. It rained last week and put all the fires out, and now you can go outside and...
Did you get your job, Brooks?
I haven't heard back from him yet, but I think it's find out next week or so, or this coming week.
Okay.
Sure,
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Nice, nice.
How's the house hunt going?
Oh, house hunt?
Yeah.
Dude, we got the big place, the wonderful place.
Ooh.
It has a chicken run.
Snowball.
So when are you getting chickens? Oh. Okay, it's good for Snowball too, but all just have chickens.
I mean, you have a point.
So,
Think about
where are you guys moving to?
We're staying here in town, but right now we're in a pretty small apartment, and it doesn't have a ton of space for my bird or for the rabbit, and doesn't have grass for either of them. So we're getting a bigger place that has like a massive yard across town.
Ooh, okay, that's cool.
It's lit.
That looks really... I say, having stalked your docs.
Excellent. You're just hearing eating noises in the background, sorry.
For sure, for sure. Did Ashley specify why she couldn't make it this session?
I have so much work to do.
Oh.
That's basically, if I'm doing teaching, I would be on my computer the entire time editing. So
For sure.
Valid.
Are you still? Are you at finals coming up, Ashley?
finals come up in 2 weeks. I don't have any finals. I just have projects.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what I have to do is like actual work so I can get paid.
Oh,
Very
okay.
cool.
Thank you.
And get out my paperwork from my things.
I'm gonna get some chicken.
Alright, let's see.
Yeah, I'm gonna go upstairs too, but this is pretty cool. Should I just bring it up once everything's ready? Oh, I'm gonna sit. These are fast finish.
So how's CBS, Brooks?
I actually put in my 2 weeks notice 2 weeks ago.
Hooray!
So that actually, yeah, Sunday was my last day.
Congrats.
Yeah, I know.
Nice.
It's pretty intense, but also pretty sad. So,
Were there good people?
yeah, everyone's great. It's just that the work sucks dick. Also, I don't want to be a pharmacist, so
Valid.
yeah, so there's no point in staying. Yeah, but learned a bunch. I had some actual pharmacist friends that I might run a one-shot with in the future, but that's like way.
Ooh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Is there warm rice at all?
Nope.
You have to heat it up.
Alright.
Oh, also, both of you.
Mhm.
Oh, actually, I think we're good. We were talking about hunting for a fifth person for our house, but it sounds like Mish might be able to make it down here in the future, maybe. So I think we're keeping it open. But if you know people in Santa Barbara who are looking for a place, send them our way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ashley, are you staying with them? Are you graduating this quarter?
I am, yeah, or well, technically next quarter, but I'm not really in school.
Oh, okay, for sure.
She's doing a master's probably here.
Makes sense.
That would be
A year.
Fingers crossed.
So yeah, everyone's basically just chilling in Santa Barbara longer than expected, but the house continues.
Absolutely nothing.
You
wrong
say
with
that like it's a problem.
I mean, what will Ash do without Bun? True. Emotional support Bun.
Seriously.
She's just such a good aunt. That bun has spoiled me for every other rabbit in existence.
Aww. Brooks, you have not met my Bun.
I not met your bunny? Oh. That's okay. I have 2 bunnies at my house, so
Okay.
I'm very used.
Huh?
I'm very used to rabbits. I have 2 rabbits in my place. So,
Oh
my God.
we
What
also
are their
have-
names?
They're Biscuit and Oreo.
Brooks, you have to look Biscuit in the eye and tell them Oreo too, but like especially Biscuit.
All they
What
do
are they-
is eat and run around.
What did they look like?
You know, you would know if you would check your Snapchat. Because I'm pretty sure I
Oh.
snapped it to you.
I don't even have room for Snapchat on my phone. Well, how much?
Brooks, why isn't it on my Snapchat? Come on.
I don't think I've added. That's why.
Can you send a Snapchat to Mish, who then can screenshot it and then send it to me?
Oh my God.
Oh man, yeah. I actually also got chickens recently, or baby chicks.
Oh.
So
What?
I know. Families.
Brooks,
really
how are you? Sorry, Sweeps. I'm canceling living with you guys. I'm living with Brooks now.
all animals in my vicinity. Let's see.
Have you named them?
Nope. Because I can't tell them apart.
Oh.
Okay, name them Horace, Buffy, and Ferdinand. When you can't tell them apart.
Ferdinand. It's an interesting variety of names you have there.
No, they're great.
Alright, also Michelle, you're cutting out a little bit. I don't know if it's my end or it's your end or...
She didn't put out. Oh, really? I didn't hear.
That might just be that I'm doing push to talk. How about now?
Yeah, sounds better.
Alright, if it's getting bad again, let me know and I'll mess with it.
For sure.
Well, together, you just toss potatoes like for 20 minutes, and then the usual poke and see. Or the raw. Also carrots on it.
Nice, thank you.
No problem. My time has come. See
You
you
got it.
later.
Bye. Good luck.
You're the best.
Bye.
Bye! Alright, so we just
It's a long day we've
finalize a
come.
few of my things. I might as well just send something. You know, that doesn't make sense. Okay, I'll deal with that later. Alright, guys.
Alright, I am.
All getting in the mood.
Ding.
Okay, against my better judgment, I'm going to sit on this thing, but only on the opposite corner.
Just make sure you don't jostle around.
Yeah. I'm not going to touch that corner.
Don't be John.
I'm going to touch the less damaged corner. Guys, we have broken 2 of our 4 chairs.
How?
Over the course of a month, like over the course of they broke within a month of each other.
They did, but we have had them for like 2 years.
Over the course of like a year.
Yeah, but, like-
finally happened.
Oh, it's because we scooted back and forth so roughly, I bet.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate, but at least you guys have a new house. Hopefully furnished.
New furniture.
I'm so down to hunt for new furniture. I'm so excited.
Where did my fork go? There it is.
Right, let's see. So I was stealing something I saw online for a warm-up question for character
No, 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 extra.
for everybody. Let's see. Alright.
Alright.
Before we get into the mood, we're gonna just do a quick round of a warm-up thing to get into character.
Oh.
Supposedly this thing works for some people, some doesn't.
Okay.
Alright.
Ooh.
Everyone in character has a guilty pleasure. Alright, describing character. Everyone has a guilty pleasure. What is yours?
Shit.
Guilty pleasure.
Rolling around in freshly cut grass.
Yes. Oh, wait, can Braywoods also be rolling around in freshly
I
know,
I
I-
note to find a lawnmower real quick.
Okay, grass of any kind, but like...
No, you have to say in character.
No, I went for Braywood.
Alright. Alright, y'all go, in character.
What the fuck is Braywood's voice? This is a struggle every
Stern
time.
school teacher mom.
Yes.
My Toriel voice.
Do your Toriel voice.
You have a Toriel voice?
When I voice Toriel,
Oh my god.
it's like, oh, Chris, I'm so sorry. Like you know what I mean, but more dead.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, Chris. I really enjoy rolling around in grass.
Oh
So
my
like,
god.
No, like that. That's my impression of.
This is
of
just a
Braidwood.
kinder version of your bug wizard,
Chad.
Chad. It's just a kinder version of Chad. Anyway,
No, I quite enjoy going on. She sounds like a stoner. Okay, get it.
well, along the edge of the moist. Is it called the moist, DM?
I hate it,
sound fancy.
thanks.
The moist. The moist
Along the
meadows and
The
ocean.
voice.
It got worse.
Along the edge of the moist meadows, there are smaller inlets of swamp. And there's a particular kind of tree that grows there. It grows horizontally out over the water, and if you step carefully, you can sit on it over the water and watch the fish swim beneath. This is difficult with hooves, which is what makes it challenging. That is what I do.
Okay. Okay.
And then we have Keitra.
Yeah, let's go with Kaitra.
So I know this wouldn't be a guilty pleasure for a lot of people,
Oh,
but
guilty!
because I never had them for a really long time and are kind of challenging to make.
It's
I
guilty.
really like bacon.
Oh,
cute.
that's cute!
Wait, baking or bacon?
Baking. Because I never desserts are such a difficult thing to get.
That's cute.
Gotcha.
Also, Braywoods is the guilty pleasure because every time she falls in the water and looks like
Oh, okay.
that's why.
Round horse. Go first.
She has to make sure no one will see her.
I was either going to go with high-class desserts or baking there, but I think baking sounds more in character.
Baking is cute
'Cause
because
it's
she
like-
wouldn't want
it's like
anyone
a-
to see her as
Yeah,
like.
it's a thing nobody will, like, I wouldn't want anyone to see it, but it's also, like, a real challenge because you have to do it right in the same way that you have to do smithing right.
Yeah.
So I like making really complicated desserts and then not showing them to anyone.
Oh, Braywoods' guilty pleasure is also watching bugs
This is
go
the
to
most
war with
fucking
each other.
anime character I've ever described.
Yeah, you're an anime character. It's fine. It's fine.
Jesus Christ.
You're literally the girl from Sword Art Online, but it's fine.
I feel like maybe
Hmm.
cooking because she was a waifu.
I mean, she did because she was a waifu.
Okay.
That's what waifus do.
Oh boy. Well, I take it back.
Bray would like
It's too late.
bugs kill each other.
We're officially not going down the waifu path, but
You can still bake.
But I do still like baking.
That's like the guilty pleasure because you know it's a
Exactly.
waifu thing.
But not like in like a sensei, you can't see me baking.
And
kind
it's
of way.
time for
Stop.
Sollies.
No, it's
What about Mish?
I'm still thinking about.
Mish already went.
Did you? You didn't do it in your character.
Yeah, you gotta do
That's
intro.
true.
You have to redo it. Now you just do one.
Gwen crosses her arms and looks extremely, what's the word, tsundere? She just looks extremely... and she sort of mutters, "It's fun." Just break together a pile of leaves and jump into them
That's
and
fun.
roll.
Ah,
Oh, it's like a dog.
It would sound cute,
Hey.
but she's a centaur, so
It just makes a sense.
it's very weird.
She runs
I
through
love it. And Braywood will say, well, in the swamps, there are a number of fungi. And this is where everyone just starts to, like, losing interest.
walking away.
Some that cause interesting reactions in insects, even deceased insects.
Is your guilty pleasure getting high?
I thought it was
Oh,
going to
it
be
could be! They also cause interesting responses in those who eat them. So sometimes we create delicacies that cause interesting, intoxicating effects. This is looked upon with disapproval by the local nobles, but that's because they know very little of our culture. I am a satyr. What do you think we do?
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, what are these weird orgies? Because that's probably what satyrs do.
That's not a guilty
That's
pleasure.
def-
thing.
That is a
You're
guilt.
not guilty about it. That's just like
Pleasure.
That's a guilt-free pleasure right there.
Yes, Solly.
I really like feeding horses. Because we're not normally supposed to do that, and they're supposed to do something super special, but sometimes when I go into town with my brother, I get some apples and I feed it to them. And then they like me, I think.
I didn't know you had a brother.
Is this around a campfire?
Would you say this happened at some point in your travels?
Oh, I didn't know it. Well, yeah, yeah, he's really cool. Yeah.
Excellent.
At that moment, Kaitra began shipping Sully and Gwen.
Gwen just doesn't know how to feel about this.
Inside, Sully like probably sees like Gwen and Braywood and is like, I really want to feed them, but that was totally rude.
I love
But I think food is the way to a horse's heart, and so question mark?
So if we're around the campfire. Now don't get me wrong. This is only because it was very difficult to get sugar for pretty much most of my life. But
Wow, you sound like you would make it really great.
alright.
The word you're looking for is waifu.
But
Is this like when we're recovering? What is this?
I guess so, sure. I think it's ambiguous time. So
It's ambiguously canon.
It's whenever
Okay,
it
okay.
Your
happens.
response time.
Perfect.
But
This is your Tumblr blog.
Idea.
I'm talking here.
No,
Okay.
wait, try this.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that this is delicious? And I give you a cream something. Cream tart.
We're
Ooh!
establishing this now.
You give her a cream something.
Because I.
Mm.
That doesn't she?
So I guess I'll eat those now. I was
Here
avoiding
is
them.
a cream tart. You can have it.
All right, I eat it. Fine.
Is it
I'll
good?
play your game, Dungeon Master. I'll accept it.
Squid said,
It is a
Alex-
succulent and delightful dish. It
So
is.
I really like making like really complicated desserts and then eating them.
Can we say that this is like during the cooking thing with Pulse?
Oh yeah!
Yeah, because it would make more sense. I
Yeah,
think.
because everyone you brought the desserts and everything that time too.
But then
Yeah.
what is Fulse's guilty pleasure?
Pulse, what's your guilty
It's
pleasure?
also one more thing. It's also it's also surprisingly similar to smithing anyway, in that you careful timing and care is needed in creating such desserts. So
You probably
baking.
also have to measure out the metal.
I don't have a character voice. This is a problem. You can talk like this. It could be like confrontation and like Kaitra. But like bacon. And really,
You sound like a mean
Claire.
girl.
Yes, it's your meat
I,
color.
I feel like she is kind of a mean girl. No?
Yeah.
Okay, that's that. Cool.
Okay. And with that, can we get a recap from last time? From Gwen?
Oh, we're ready for Pulse.
Oh, false. Okay. You promise you will not judge?
You better not be fucking impaling the
knitting?
heads of your enemies or
Is it
something.
knitting?
I like to make certain furniture
Oh.
for
What happened, sir?
for dolls. I like making dolls.
Oh
Do not judge me. It's a good pastime.
Wait, what
Cool.
kind of furniture? Like
That's
really,
great.
like really big?
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell anyone.
You know, for like little Barbie, if there were Barbie dolls, there would be Barbie chair, Barbie wardrobe, Barbie dresser. Do not
Oh.
judge me.
Is the only difference between an adult wardrobe and a normal wardrobe the colors? Just like, I don't know what else party with me.
Oh.
They're just like really small for like little toys, basically. Like
I think Kaitra looks thoughtful at that and says, I think the difference is the size, right? Yeah! Between a adult wardrobe and I.
yes, they would fit in the palm of your hand. They will look very, very pristine, very good attention to detail.
Okay, sounds
But don't tell anyone, please. It is embarrassing. for obvious reasons.
Do you have any of your best works to show?
No, I'd never bring it on an adventure. But if we ever have some time, I will show you how I make them.
No.
And with that, let's get that recap, Miss Guinevere.
Alright. We got a bag of... Okay, so we got a special item called a bag of many groceries. It is not a magic item, it's just groceries that we have. But in any case, that's the most important thing. But then we went northeast to retrieve the golden orb from the giant ice castle, which was inside a giant ice box. We wandered around the ice castle and found a room full of hourglasses filled with crystals, snowflakes, or crystals and snowflakes. We found out that Fulse is hot, about 82 out of 100 hot to be specific. And then we had a demon/ghost battle in which I have written down, and I do not remember the context, the gang will have your heads. Take it how you will. We did not die, and that is where session ended.
We didn't die. Yeah.
We didn't die. Yet.
We didn't die?
Question mark. But as you recall from last time on in your fights with these undead beings as well, some rage walkers, you do happen to recall that Sully was touched by a ghost, and as you guys catch your breaths, recovering from the
Sully
rapid battle, you see Sully's armor. It's now you quickly see the cracks and dents in the armor forming rapidly, as though Sully has aged by give or take 30 years or so.
Really hard to tell, honestly. Wait, actually, I know how to work metal. Can I check? Can I see how much he aged?
Sure. You're proficient.
Can't work.
So I'll just say you pretty much figured it out. It's exactly 30 years.
Oh shit, Sully, your armor is 30 years older. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
But like, wait, hold on. Do we know he's Warforged yet? No.
Well, you do hear you hear Sully's voice has gotten deeper, definitely.
No.
Yeah, by like an octave or so.
Emily, can you describe this? Can you speak in your character voice again?
Like before? Okay, before.
No,
Oh, hi, how are you? I'm Sully. Nice to meet you. Hi, I'm Sully.
Whoa.
So you can grow, but you don't eat.
What are you talking about? I consume. That's so much money on that. Tarts?
I'm gonna point at a rock and say, oh yeah, we'll prove it and eat that.
I'm rolling intelligence check.
By the way, you guys are breaking up a little bit. Are you guys connected to Ethernet right now? Oh.
There's no Ethernet here. We just are what we are. So
We might move soon, so actually the internet.
oh, the internet will be better starting like in a week.
Nice. Nice. Awesome. Awesome.
How do you feel about your intelligence check?
He asked.
Oh, fine.
So yeah.
Uh-huh.
Asked Sully to eat a rock.
I pointed at a rock and said, well, prove you eat by eating that.
I don't see how that would prove anything, except for breaking some.
Alright, he's human.
Well,
Alright.
okay.
You were foolish. Sully is very clearly an elf. Otherwise, that aging would have just killed him. Humans live for like 10 minutes, and then they die.
A word for not human, but like the vague category.
Humanoid?
Oh, humanoid.
But Sully is humanoid is the problem.
Mortal.
Mortal, maybe? Fleshy?
I would go with mortal.
Flashy.
Ew.
Alright.
And I think because
You
I
have flesh.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. You guys look a little injured. as he watches you guys kind of bleed on the ground. Oh.
I'm good, actually.
Oh, I don't remember if I'm good. Let me open the roll 20.
I'm actually pretty good.
I'm pretty good.
I like literally didn't get hit. Well, I did. I got 8, but I healed it because I had my first action or whatever.
Let me get this open. I have no idea what my health is.
I thought you were really bad.
No? Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I'm
you
at,
stabbed a couple times, I remember that.
it appears that I'm at 26 out of 38.
That's not bad.
If I recall correctly, Braywood's not that injured. Gwen's got, I think he's pretty injured, and I think
I was definitely
was really hurt.
I was definitely worse than 26 out of 38. I'm not sure where those numbers have gone.
Maybe because
I've been healing you.
Oh, alright.
Give me 1 sec to check my health somewhere else, because I have a doc that I usually work from.
38 is like sounds like a reasonable max, right?
It does.
Okay. Cool. My health's not warped.
listen to the camera.
What's your max?
78.
Oh!
I'm fucking sorry?
Barbarian, though.
No.
The D12 hit die.
D12 hit dice 18 con.
Alright, I'm with Warlock.
Okay, yeah, I'm fine. I'm good.
Okie dokie.
This is
Hmm.
sounds good.
I'm always wild shaped, so I'm sturdy.
You guys see Folse observe or investigates the fallen knights as well as the dead, or the dead undead.
I do not think they were alone. There have been clear signs of battle throughout their bodies. Not in
So
the
perhaps we should leave before their friends come to see what happened.
That sounds like a good idea.
That sounds like it makes sense.
Oh yeah, we all finished resting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Oh, we had a short rest. That's what happened.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that explains so much.
Did we not get the benefit of a long rest? Because I remember we were sleeping and then
I thought
something
we got the
happened.
benefit of a long rest already.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
guys
I'm
get
asking.
benefit of a long rest, and I'll say you guys are taking a kind of a short rest after the battle because
Okay.
losing a lot of your stuff.
Alright, that explains where my hit points came from.
Mish, what do I do
Yeah.
about dealing with the red?
Basically, wait, what level are we?
We
Level 5,
Alright,
yeah.
you can roll up to whatever your hit die is, up to 5 times, and that's how many hit points you regain, but you don't get any of those, like, those 5 hit die that you roll, you don't get them back until the next long rest.
Oh, okay, cool.
So you could roll all 5 of them right now, but then if we did another short rest, that wouldn't do anything for you.
Oh, okay. So
Mhm.
I'm a Warlock 5, my hit die is...
5.
It's a D8 probably?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that. Unless, wait, can you just kill me? Oh wait, you have limited spells, right. Here's a D8.
Yeah, I would just say roll your hit die. They regen.
4. So we're at 30. So that's 2 of them. But 1 of them, I'll do another one. That's an 8. We're good. I've used 2.
But yes, if I recall, we were chasing some people. Are we still going to pursue them, even as injured as we are?
Well, after that rest, I do feel better.
What, Fulce, are you injured?
No, I am perfectly fine, but a feathered friend here seems to have gone unconscious.
Oh, shit. Wait.
Or a little dumb, I cannot tell.
Right, that did happen.
The only person who got fucked up was Bird.
Yo, Gwen, can you, do something about that?
No,
Is it-
he's dead. No.
Okay.
Heal.
Fuck is dead. What's the heck?
Alright.
He is my best.
Vlaren is not my character. What? Okay, Gwen looks at Arrow and does medicine things on him that put him to sleep for a convenient session. He is healed. Now all he needs is rest.
Good, good. We will, I suppose we can take him with... I will carry him until we find a safer place. I do not
As noble as that is, Gwen turns her back and literally has the back of an entire horse.
That is a little smarter. Let's put her on the play.
Alright. Once he wakes up in conveniently 1 session's time, he'll be alright.
Sounds good.
Okay. Phew. Is everybody ready for a good climbing session? Climb.
What's this climb?
Basically, I need a drawing of how you climb a rope.
I can climb at half speed, guys.
It will be some sights to behold.
I have
It's
upper
like
body strength.
People, how people can like climb, like walk, climb. She does that, but as a horse.
I like to think she's just pulling herself up.
It's like 4 times as heavy for a centaur.
She has high strength.
Oh, she has really good upper body strength.
God,
She has two,
Yeah, what a-
two upper bodies.
what buff fucking like person I've ever seen, let alone the most buff cleric.
Have you ever seen Gwen's arms? She's swole.
Oh man, we're gonna have to like commission an artist to draw how Gwen climbs things.
As Gwen's muscles ripple.
Alright. Under her pout.
Gwen takes a moment to flex.
Wait, let me try. Sorry, wait. Let me try something first. God damn, I can't do voice. Let me try something first. And I take the rope and I tug it.
It better not break.
If it breaks,
It seems pretty sturdily attached to whatever it seems to be.
That-
You glance up, it seems as though you guys have climbed up to the top of the tower by now, back to the hole. You guys glance up. It seems as though the rope goes above the building and seems to exit at a small hole above the ice cube. Seems as though dawn is breaking outside. There is a bit of dim light shimmering through the ice cube / ice barrier's walls. So you guys can see now.
Who here is the best at catching and falling people? They should go last. Alright, solely for last.
But he has spikes on
one,
everything.
4.
Oh, you do have spikes.
That's why we don't want to catch him.
You know what? That's also true.
One more thing. Quick question. How much time do we have left
Alright.
on our glass?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You guys pull out, in a sudden burst of inspiration, everyone pulls out their hourglasses.
Fine, like,
Whereas before, they had been falling constantly no matter their orientation. Now it seems like all motion within the hourglasses has completely stopped. And actually, there appears to be a red tinge throughout the entire hourglass, as well as a few runes that encircle the hourglass.
Alarming. Greywood, can you read those?
I read those.
Emergency situation. Please contact the nearest associate for more details.
You know what? Would you guys be opposed to standing around here for approximately, say, 10 minutes?
why?
So I can cast Identify on this without using a spell slot?
That's reasonable, yeah.
yeah,
because
they're-
they're the associate.
I'd like to walk up to one of the knights, because I think those guys are around here, right?
Yeah,
there
they were.
seems to be one night remaining. Seems like the majority of them had ran downstairs.
I'm going to walk up to a knight and say, alright, here we go. Greetings, are you an associate?
I can call an associate if you'd like.
You know what? Maybe don't. And then I walk away.
This is an emergency situation. All guests
Yep.
are to stay within their rooms until an associate can come and relieve them.
Okay.
That's
I hereby
that's all the knight says, and then he
my
resumes
room
his
is the
standing
entire
position.
castle. Continue as you were. I need to go get the books.
And while that is happening, Gwen is standing over her hourglass and muttering.
You mutter for about 10 minutes or so, trying to figure out what exactly the hourglass is. You determine that it seems as though there's an enchantment on these hourglasses that one controls when exactly the flow of the crystals starts and stops, as well as it seems as though each hourglass is connected to like a central system that can be controlled. But other than that, they don't seem to have any special powers.
Okay, and then stone enchantments.
There doesn't
That
seem to
controls-
be any enchantments that does anything other than affecting the hourglass.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems as though it's entirely benign. It just seems like a regular object that's been enchanted for some specific purpose.
And therefore not a regular.
That's true.
It's not a
While
bomb if you were asking. So,
No, I was just trying to figure out like what controls the rate of which that snow is falling.
You could tell from yesterday that it seemed as
Mhm.
though it was just. It takes about like a day for all the sand slash crystals to fall to the bottom on one end.
But what controls it is what she was trying to
Oh,
identify.
I see.
Yeah.
It just seems as though it got like a stop order from whatever thing that controls it. It seems as though it's just connected to a central system. And
Gotcha.
I'll say that you can figure that out for all the hourglasses around you guys as well. Seems like they all have the exact same type of enchantment.
Alright. I'm not sensing any difference between the like all snow versus all crystal.
No. there's no
While
difference.
while we're sitting around waiting for the identify to happen, Kytra gets restless and stands up and walks over to the knight and says, "Hey, knight dude,
Yes. Oh,
give me
sorry.
your sword. Give me your sword."
Okay. He
All right, I
has
take his
sword.
sword back.
Payable to make payments payable to the Earl.
I give him his sword back.
Do you wish to process a return?
Yes.
See associate for more details.
I hate you.
Wait. What? I mean, sorry. Wait. Fuck. I'm gonna keep on doing that.
Give me your head.
Okay. He takes off his helmet.
Alright, does anybody wear armor?
I'm sorry?
Say, wear this. I found armor for you.
Is this for me?
Yeah, it's for you.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
He puts it on. It's a full face mask. Seems like it's just like a typical knight helmet with a full visor.
It is kind of muffled in here, but I will take it. Thank you.
Very good. Alright, that's good.
Full saber like matching. I mean, full saber matching.
Alright, tell me about the sword that I have now.
It looks to be one made, cut out of one piece of glass. Seems
Ooh.
very sharp. Looks as though the hilt is made out of, or seems to be a thicker part of the glass, while the sword itself tapers into a razor thin edge.
Okay.
Looks very pretty, but as far as I can tell, it's about comparable to the one you've forged that's with you. It's a little cold to the touch, though.
So it's a
It's a very
great
pretty long sword.
long sword.
Yeah.
Okay.
Functionally, it's the same as your regular sword.
I mean, a regular sword is a great sword.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, it's a long sword, and it looks pretty.
Phenomenal. Let's find out what's.
Are you a tiny girl with a large sword?
I feel like I'm like an average-sized girl with a large sword. No, I'm not tiny. I'm not your fucking anime waifu.
Can we all agree that you're definitely an anime waifu?
I'm gonna go find some pictures of you, Kytra.
My sword does not agree.
Anime waifu
Oh, God.
sword. I found you.
I'm a sword. I'm not a waifu. All right. So
While you guys are taking a look around, you see Folsey kind of tugging at the rope, and he's kind of like confused.
It
So
seems
why would I
very,
use-
like unnaturally sturdy. I do not know why it has been put here. You see, it does not flap in the wind.
He slaps a little bit and immediately returns its original position.
Huh. Maybe
Huh.
it is intended for safe climbing because it's not billowing crazy. So I say we should climb now that Gwen has investigated it.
I can go first. I can climb vertical surfaces if it does give way.
And if it does, we'll catch you.
Yes.
Wonderful. Hopefully I'll be a spider and you won't need to. I googled anime waifu sword, and all I'm getting is like pictures of the Sword Art Online girl in underpants. This is not what I came. I guess it is.
Yeah, that is what you came here for.
I haven't seen a single sword, John. I have not seen one sword on this entire Google Images page.
I'm gonna search anime girl that is also a sword.
And that is all. Wait, guys, really? It's the thing. You know,
Really?
Soul Eater. Thank you.
Here.
It's
That was
literally
weird.
just Soul
It was
Eater.
a weird anime, but I watched all of it.
No, same.
I climbed the rope.
There you go. Here's
We are climbing the rope, right?
Veronica.
Yeah, there's you. Found you.
You guys, Greywood begins climbing the rope. Is she just going in her normal form, or?
I mean, she'll try climbing it as a human, because if she falls, she'll turn into a spider.
Okay, for sure.
Also, if she can't climb it, they're gonna have trouble, so...
Okay, for sure. Let me just check this out. All right. As you begin climbing up the rope, it feels very sturdy to you. It seems that despite the wind howling around your ears and threatening to buffet you off the rope itself seems very sturdily set in place. Definitely seems as though it's enchanted. You begin climbing higher and higher. Soon the crystal castle below you quickly fades into a smaller and smaller speck. You climb up to what appears to be a small cut opening into the top of the ice cube. And as you climb up, you're greeted with just the top of the ice cube. Just seems exactly the same as the walls you had seen while walking around.
Mm-hmm.
But the rope does not end at the bottom of, or at the top of the ice cube. It seems as though there seems to be a small, almost a shimmering doorway that it connects through into what you can see through from your unnatural angle to be a snow-covered mountain.
Wait. Inside. Wait, hold on. Where is the mountain?
So the rope passes through the ice cube out to the top of it, so I can see the normal world around me, and then it passes through a a window in the air, like subtle knife style, like a portal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a portal, and then the rope leads through the portal.
Ooh.
Alright, I'm down. I climbed the rope. I was climbing the rope. Continue to climb the rope.
Okay, and that was Kytra climbing, and then who's climbing after Kytra?
When?
If you want me to, I will be slow though.
I feel like Gwen should go at the bottom, because if she falls and hits someone, it's going to be real awkward.
We should have the
We'll say go up.
You should have like
Full say.
one in case you falls or something. Well, I guess you don't have to roll. You just climb at hyperspeed.
Fulsa just shimmies up really quickly, joins you guys at the top of the ice cube. Seems like you guys are just waiting around there before you guys enter the portal.
When? You first or should I?
You know what, I'll do it. And Gwen just sort of cracks her knuckles, grabs onto the rope with like a determined look on her face, and just
How much
hoists.
does Gwen weigh?
Horse. She can climb at half speed.
Yeah, but how much does she weigh? This is the question I need to answer.
The horse, hang on. How much does a gypsy vanner weigh? Well, between 1,100 and 1,700 pounds.
That's a lot of them.
That's a lot of horse.
You tug on the rope, suspiciously. Slowly begin shimmering up with arrows strapped to your back.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I should be the one to hold arrow, but it's okay.
Too late. We're doing this.
You begin climbing up. Can I have Sully roll just an intelligence check to see how well she straps arrow to her?
Oh no.
How strapped arrow is to you? Oh boy.
These are some pretty fierce winds. You guys are pretty well fit, so you guys are able to climb it with not too much difficulty, but Gwen, seeing as she's a horse.
Could I have rolled to see how well the bird is tied?
Yeah, if you would have inspected it, I can certainly allow you to roll. This is just a straight intelligence check for Sully as well as Gwen.
Sure. And would...
Arrow is tied to a...
I can roll?
Yeah, you're the one who tied her. Or tied arrow.
Can I use that for this?
This is just an roll.
So under skills, scroll to the bottom, and there's unskilled int check.
Ah.
I don't think proficiency with the rope counts, unfortunately.
Alright, unskilled it is.
Oh.
Yeah, see, Gwen knows how to tie people up.
Okay. Sully thinks that, Sully did a pretty good job, but Gwen takes a look and sees that there's some knots that are pretty loose that could be potentially dangerous. Gwen makes sure she ties it up nice and tight and makes sure the arrows are strapped well to her body and begins the ascent. As you get about halfway up, the rope for a moment suddenly goes completely slack as in the air the rope just seems to start immediately falling.
No shit.
As you guys start struggling and just watching the rope begin to fall, everybody at the top can try to do a quick athletics check to grab the rope.
Let me see if I can do anything more clever than that. Nope! Alright, I try to grab the rope. Athletics check. Of course, that's skills, athletics, we got that guy. Roll type, it's normal. That's a good 14 right there.
Okay. Roll full saves.
Yeah, I have.
And Braywood, are you going to be helping trying to grab the rope as well?
Yeah. What do I roll?
Athletics. Or if you have anything more clever to do, you can certainly try.
I'm still in human form, so I think that's all I've got. I'm gonna try. Wait, has everyone else missed? What's the?
We don't know.
How urgent is this?
We don't know yet.
The rope has gone suddenly slack. They're just not quite sure why, but it seems as though the rope has gone completely limp, and it seems as though the rope is feeding out of the portal for the moment.
Oh, like as if someone's cut it.
Mm-hmm.
Has what?
Has Full Save tried yet?
Yeah, full save.
I rolled for full save.
Oh, okay.
He looks as though he stumbled a little bit in trying to grab the rope, almost launches himself into the hole.
Oh, dear.
Oh.
Full say you had one job. Well, because one
I've
job.
seen a Mulan where they try to grab the rope. It slipped
Yes.
through my fingers.
Let me see if I have a useful spell.
Well, I mean, unless you got levitate.
I mean, we're still climbing, right? I'm still on this side
I
of the
think
portal.
we're at the top.
Wait, because like I was the top one, so am I still climbing as well? Are we all?
You guys basically got off to the side onto the top of the ice cube.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I definitely would have waited for you to get to the top.
Okay, I don't think I have anything useful here. So I'm just gonna roll athletic. Nope.
Okay. So what ends up happening is that as the rope goes slack, Kytra's the first to immediately notice it, dives for the rope and manages to get a firm hold.
Oh, jeez. Oh, God, it feels like there's a horse attached. Oh, God.
Fulsa immediately, tries to help Kytra in stabilizing it, but he ends up falling over, and both of you guys begin to get dragged towards the pole slowly but surely. Braywood dives for Kytra's feet and grabs a hold. Seems like with all three of you guys combined, at least, along with the leverage, you guys are able to just barely hold it in position. As rope seems as though there's a little switch at the top. Actually, seems as though there's a little brown indent at the top of the rope next to Kytra's fingers as she's grabbing the edge of the rope.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
Can I try?
Yeah, you can do so. But meanwhile, in the air, Gwen is swinging back and forth violently.
Can I just start climbing faster?
Starts climbing faster. Starts adding more tension to the rope. As you guys are holding on for dear life at the very top. Is there anything you wish before the next skill check? Or for anyone that's involved at the moment? You guys have like a round.
I can cast mending. That does nothing.
You cast mending on the rope. It wasn't really broken.
No, it takes a minute. That wouldn't work.
Awkward.
I mean, I try to retie the rope into its rope spot, right?
You can try, but the portal is about 10-15 feet above you guys.
Alright.
Wait, what?
It's like you can like kind of like get on someone's shoulders to reattach it to its vantage point.
So
It was
we're on
facing
the
through
ice
the
cube.
portal.
Oh, we're not through the portal yet. Okay.
Yeah, you guys are at the top of the ice cube at the moment.
Braywood, can you turn into Braywood, can you turn into something really, really big and just kind of float?
I become a horse identical to Gwen's horse form.
Gwen looks so uncomfortable from this.
Gwen, something like Gwen. Can you do that?
With combined horsepower.
I'm just a horse.
So, I like to imagine just a second pair of satyr legs emerging.
Yeah.
Oh god.
And, with that, Braywood ends up pulling Gwen up slowly but surely as Gwen's frantically climbing up the now flapping rope. The winds buffet her body, but she seems to, at least, but with a very final push, he manages to get her out of the hole.
How about the body of the unconscious bird?
Is the bird still tied to Gwen?
Arrow looks a lot more smushed, just from being flapped around in the wind so much. But other than that, he's okay. He's okay.
Alright, Gwen looks up and sees like something identical to her, but like only her lower half, and is probably having nightmares.
Your lower half abandoned you.
No.
Sully, while you are the last person at the bottom, the knight's in the corner of the room, now missing its helmet. Suddenly, the little flame that's kind of in its neck hole turns from a bright blue to a dim red, and immediately starts running down the stairs. From
Good luck!
you guys came.
Running down the stairs, like, away from us?
Away from you. Away from you.
Guys, so one of the knights turned and
Are you
walked
coming
away.
up?
Okay, I guess I'm coming up. And I try to climb up.
How much does a suit of armor weigh?
Probably less than a horse.
Probably less than a horse. All right, so Sully manages to climb up with little difficulty, seeing as Sully is so swole and so athletic. Actually, I take it back. Sully, let me just for aesthetic purposes, how athletic are you?
Out of character, how athletic? My skill is I have a 6 mod.
Oh, so Sully looks very impressive going up, doing almost a marine style climbing method where he puts the rope between his legs so he can boost himself up very quickly using his core strength as opposed to just his arms. Streams up, makes it to the top with ease, and you guys are standing at the top of the ice cube, looking out into the world around you as well as the portal above you.
All right. So is everyone up?
Yes.
I think we're good.
Cool. Now we gotta get the extra 15 feet higher.
I thought the rope was coming out of the portal.
I mean, it was.
Oh. Well. Could throw you.
You know what? Sure. No luck throw. I could stand on your back and tie it, right? I need a character.
That's true. You could stand on my shoulders, actually.
How tall is Gwen?
How what?
How tall is Gwen?
Well, so, your average gypsy banner size is between 12 to 16 hands. So let's say 15 hands plus torso. Okay. 15 hands is about 5 feet, and then how tall is like an average torso?
Character is now awkwardly inspecting her hands.
Let's say an average torso is like 2.5 to 3 feet. So
the gist is Gwen's freaking huge.
Braywood is now awkwardly inspecting her torso.
Braywood doesn't have a torso. She's a horse.
Oh, you're right. That's why that's why it's awkward.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
See a horse look down at its chest. As Kytra gets on Gwen's shoulders, kind of tries to push herself into the portal. You grip the edge of the portal. It seems as though it leads directly inwards. Gives you a solid, like, perpendicular, like, handhold. Your hands clench into deep snow, and as you pull yourself in, whereas before outside you hear the howling of the wind as well as the rustling of the trees in the wind. The moment you stick your head through the portal, all sound is gone.
Ooh.
And there just seems to be an absolute dead silence. You see at the ends of the end of the area, it seems as though there was a cut piece of rope tied around a giant boulder.
Okay.
So we were sabotaged.
Oh, cut.
I mean, yeah, that's why I suddenly went slack.
Oh, I thought someone went slack because you were too heavy.
Wow. She snorts at you.
So then, before I tie it up, I immediately, like, stand up as high as possible and look around.
You look around before your eyes. Let me pull up the image real quick so I can describe it better. And right in front of you appears to be a giant mountain with sheer cliffs. You see bits of almost like chunks of snow falling from the mountain, but they don't seem to be making any impacting noise. They just fall silently down the cliff faces. You see a deeper valley that surrounds the mountain. And
So, like, there's no sound here.
there is no evident sound. You can hear the sound of your own breathing, the sound of your footsteps, but it seems like the world around you is dead silence.
Wait, I hear the sound of footsteps?
You hear the sound of your own footsteps as you kind of
okay.
shiver and shake from the cold.
There's deep snow here, right? Are there footsteps leading to and away from the rope?
You notice that as you're looking for traces of footprints,
Yeah?
as you're walking around, you actually see your own footprints disappearing very quickly.
Well, that's convenient. I say frustratedly aloud and then tie the rope together. Okay, yeah. I'll quickly tie the rope back together and then... No, I'm gonna make a perception check and then tie the rope together if it happens to matter.
What are you trying to perceive?
Who the hell cut the rope?
You take a look at the rope. This doesn't really need a perception check. You see that at the very end, it seems to be a bit of a fraying type of thing. It seems like instead of being chopped, it was kind of like almost sawed off. You can tell by the rough edges based on the cut rope.
Is that implying that it was snapped due to weightness?
Do an intelligence roll for me.
I guess that's okay. There it is. 15.
Ooh.
As you ponder this situation, you get the feeling that the rope was incredibly sturdy before, and it seemed as though it should have been able to handle Gwen's weight. So it definitely seems as though it might have been sabotaged, or at least there was an external force on the rope.
Well, if that's all I can get, then I tie the rope together and call people up. Get up here! We've been sabotaged, probably.
On the bright side, that means that we're on the right track.
Yep. You always know you're going the right track when people start hating you.
Right?
Yeah. What was that?
What?
What kind of track do you go on that people start hurting you?
Wait, Michelle, you're like mic quality is
You're turning into like some kind of underwater fish being.
yeah, like a demon or something.
What? Alright. How about over here on this side of the room?
That's a lot better.
There we go. Okay.
Alright, apparently that side of the room is cursed, but okay.
Very spooky.
What kind of tracks do you go on that people start hitting you?
I mean, all of them. If you're doing anything interesting, someone's going to try and stop you. That's been my experience. I say in a character voice.
In my character voice.
You guys
I just sort of nod.
You guys have all climbed up the rope at this point, also entering the shivering, cold world. Gwen, you recognize from your books that this is one of the known realms of Hiberian. It seems like it's very
Hiberian?
Yeah, Hiberian, a very cold, desolate plain.
Cool.
Where normally frost elementals and all mannerisms of snow creatures live in, but it's a very harsh area with very little food as well as just
Yes.
sustenance in general.
Oh, no. Okay, so we're in Iceland. Cool.
Oh, go on.
I want to examine. Wait, so tell me again what we can see of the cut rope, like signs of whoever was here before us.
It seems as though it had been sawed off, or the rope had been sawed with something with a jagged edge as opposed to a clean cut. You can tell from the fraying at the end of the rope that it was definitely sawed off.
I don't think my horse senses can pick up anything more than that. Mish, you tell me.
Are there any, like, rises nearby I can get off of? Because that happened, like, less than a minute ago, so they have to be
Say that
nearby.
one more time, Hannah.
What horse senses can I use to detect people?
Smell or hearing.
Use hearing.
Go ahead and roll a perception check for me. It is very
Okay.
quiet in this area. You guys can almost hear each other's heartbeats almost because of how quiet it is.
Could the party cleric maybe help with that?
Yes. Can I turn my perception into helping?
Sure, go
No,
ahead.
you roll the 20, dude. Keep your 20.
I mean, I guess I did already
roll
roll it.
As you guys both hone your senses. Well,
Oh no.
I just wanted a blessing, but I didn't need one because I'm an inefficient horse.
Oh, I totally forgot I had guidance. Surprise.
It's okay. So 1 and a 2 on a roll. So.
That's
Gwen,
valid.
as you strain your hearing to the utmost, you at first you hear nothing but maybe just the sound of each other's heartbeats. But as you close your eyes and breathe in deeply, you almost hear the sound of something scampering away in the distance.
Let's go!
She points.
We go!
And then she...
We hunt.
As you guys start running in the direction Gwen points at, you see it's directly towards the mountain. You guys begin the hot pursuit. It takes about 20 minutes before you guys make any significant progress. You see at the base of the mountain there seems to be a large cave. And Gwen, as you're focusing, you can hear the footsteps as they transform from a light pitter-patter on the snow to a hard footprints onto the footsteps onto solid rock.
They're climbing, or they've reached a rock.
So, like, wait, how... If we're chasing after the sound, like, what is blocking our view of them if it was, like, 30 seconds ago that they're cut out rope?
Nothing's blocking your view. Doesn't seem to be anything in front of you.
They could be underground?
Okay, so we got a lot of snow, we got a scampering sound. Somebody detect magic, quick!
Can I nature check the scampering sound?
Sure. Go ahead and do a nature check.
Guidance! Oh.
Don't bother.
You're not quite sure as to what type of animal can make that noise, if there were.
And it scares me.
Can I try and make a perception roll to pinpoint as accurately as possible exactly where the sound is?
Sure, go ahead and do a perception check for me.
Okay, I'm gonna do this with my actual Kuiper dice. So that's a 4 plus...
Fuck, you just reminded me about that.
4 plus 2 is 6. Before you tell me where I think it is, wherever I think it is, I cast Create Bonfire there.
You point off in a random direction. You create a giant fire to the side. As you do so, a giant burst of steam emits in the air.
Yep.
The sound travels quite a distance, just as the snow rapidly melts and then reforms. As you guys are running, Mish can hear now that they're running after the bonfire's been cast. Is a lot more frantic. And it's just running straight, and the sounds are going straight towards the cave.
This is the cave. We're getting closer.
You're getting closer to the cave, and as you
It's eluded me! Someone detect magic!
Can I roll a survival check to be able to sort of like almost as if I'm hunting for something? Like I want to throw my halberd like a spear, like I'm spearfishing.
Like you
go
are.
ahead and do a survival check.
Woo!
Ooh.
Hey!
Oh, okay. You
you peer in the distance, knowing that if you can't locate it by sight and just barely by sound, you at least try to look in the general direction. Using your survival techniques, you actually manage to glimpse the way the footprints are forming right before they dissipate with your sharp senses. You see that these footprints are rather large. They're actually larger than your own feet, and they're very closely bundled together. The footprints are as if they're scampering, as opposed to sprint, as opposed to like running out to a gallop or a trough.
There's some kind of big invisible snow creature. Got it.
Love it. I don't think I have detect magic. I am a druid.
You're a druid. If it's an animal, maybe you can talk. Well, it's not an animal.
But I can't see it, right?
Can you talk to animals?
I can't. Yeah.
Sweet.
Actually, I stopped taking that spell when I realized that there are no living creatures in this world.
You know what? That's smart.
So no, I cannot talk to animals.
But I have detect magic. Hang on.
As you guys get to the mouth of the cave, Gwen, you hear that the sounds kind of echo inside a little bit. The footsteps actually sound a lot heavier now that they're out of the snow. And as you kind of get your head in a little closer to the cave, the sound completely stops.
Okay.
Alright.
The cave looks as though there just seems to be a pretty wide entrance and a little curvature inward, so you can't really see from your position where the cave leads.
Perhaps one of us could sneak after it?
I'm not good at that.
How
Nor
can
I.
we run something we don't know where it's looking?
You have a point.
I mean, I could go invisible, but I've demonstrated that I have no idea where the thing is.
Alright. You know what? Let's try this. And Gwen will cast Detect Magic, which I have not programmed.
I'll take a look. Within 30 feet, you sense an invisible creature in the aura. It's blocked by 1 foot of stone, and I'll say you can cast this, but you have to get closer.
Alright. We're gonna go into the cave.
Alright, we go into the cave.
You guys sneak at all, or you guys just walk in?
We could try. Worst comes to worst, it's bad.
Alright. I'll sneak in, sure.
First person who rolls gets advantage. I mean, not advantage, guidance. A d4.
Wait, are we sneaking?
Are we?
I mean,
I think the element of surprise could be a little bit lost at this point.
Doesn't help if they're running away. Sneaking doesn't help at this point. We should just run in because they're trying. As far as they're just trying to leave. Wait.
Oh, that's true.
Right. Brooks, you said we stopped hearing the footsteps?
Yeah, you stopped hearing the footsteps within the cave. It seemed as though they were echoing pretty loudly, and then immediately just stopped.
So either they teleported or they're waiting for us.
They're gonna ambush.
Hey, how big is the mouth of the cave?
The mouth of the cave seems pretty large. I would say it's about 10 feet tall. Seems very natural based on its contours, and it just seems like solid rock walls.
Okay, what are the extents of minor illusion, and can I make it look like a person just walking in the cave?
I'll say you can make a sound with it, but not really make like a full-fledged person.
You can create a sound or anything about it.
The torso of a person would probably be pushing a little bit, and it's kind of a static image.
Okay.
It's a T-pose.
No larger than 5-foot cube. I am probably taller than. Well, actually, hold on. How tall are people? 6 feet. All right.
But they do fit in a 5-foot cube.
I mean, how short of a woman are you? Like, because people can be under 5 feet.
I mean, dude, just a dwarf.
Who is short? Nobody's short. Fuck.
Fantasy world. Oh, wait. Isn't Thunk super small?
Oh, Thunk is small.
I thought Thunk is a small creature.
Thunk is KO'd.
Yeah, Thunk is pretty tiny, so it's reasonable.
What are you trying to cast?
I want to make it look like we walked in without walking in.
Oh.
All right. Let's.
I mean, I'm a druid. Just put any animal any scary looking animal. And it could feasibly be your druid.
Druid. Brightwood, what's a creature, kind of a small one?
Large spider.
Alright, I summon the image of a large spider. Like, just sort of scuttling in place, but like at the mouth of the cave.
It scuttles into the mouth of the cave, skitters back and forth. Doesn't seem to be really a response. You know that there is a turn in the cave, and the sounds did seem as though they're coming from deeper within, as opposed to the mouth. Yeah. But nothing immediately jumps out at the mouth of the cave.
Okay.
Guys, let's just go in.
Let's go in. And then figure it out.
Sneaking or not sneaking?
I would say sneaking then, if we... Because it was like the footsteps immediately stopped, not like they echoed into the distance, right?
Yeah.
Alright, I would say let's sneak then.
I agree.
You guys all crouch down low and roll your sneak check. Sneak check.
And Sully, you get a D4.
Oh, awesome. I rolled a 20 effective. Oh,
A D4, not a 4.
How do I roll again? It's slash?
Yeah, slash R and then D4. What I just put, but without the quotes.
You all suddenly realize...
19.
Y'all realize that I am a white horse and Gwen is not.
Gwen is a
brown body. Is she brown or is she?
She's piebald, so brown and white patches.
Yeah. So you see that the brown really does contrast with the white of the snow as well as the dark gray of the walls. And while Gwen herself may be very pretty to look at, she also really stands out in a juxtaposition. Fulse, he kind of dives into snow, comes back as like a covered snowman. He kind of blends into the surroundings.
Gwen, quick, do that!
Okay. Runs into the snow, just directly into the snow.
Gwen emerges, on her back, Arrow kind of shivers a little bit. As, small mound. Gwen kind of looks like a camel right now because of the snow on top of
Gwen's a camel!
But you guys begin slowly creeping your way around the cave. You guys come around the bend, and it seems as though the chamber, the tunnel kind of opens up into a chamber.
Okay.
In the center of it, there appears to be a small stone pedestal, and the trademark, the claw apparatus with a white orb in the center. Adorning the walls appears to be countless, looks to be almost small little white spheres. Seems as though they almost look like soap bubbles, but within them, you guys can kind of sense a variety of different things.
Okay.
Gwen immediately notices that feels like there's like horses in some of these. And another little arrow kind of says bird, 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 as he seems to have sensed something himself. As you guys are peering further and closer into these little soap bubbles, there seems to be almost little small essences of animals within.
And this is before the turn?
This is after the turn. It seems like the tunnel ends in this into this little chamber.
Okay. Cool. So what happens if we just kind of take the orb?
Make me the king.
Oh, god damn it, you're right.
I think that would be very, very bad.
That one sounds pretty expensive, honestly. Wait, hold on. Can I look at the hourglass? Is it still doing its thing?
It still seems to be pulsating red. Same runes as what you had saw before that you know.
Alright, so we have to roll in the capital.
As you guys are glancing around the room, everyone, can I have you roll a perception check?
Roll what?
Everyone roll a perception check.
You got it.
D4 to Sully. That was the first roller.
9.
I love you.
Love you too.
Time to break out my brand new dice.
I rolled a 16.
Hey.
16.
Okay. but Kytra immediately hears the sound of a slight scraping on the walls. Seems to be first coming from the ceiling, then to the walls, then to the ground, and then to the rock behind you.
I'm too focused on the essence of like some kind of random frog or something. I mean, I can. There's someone else react.
Wait, it's just around the wall.
It seems as though it's like slowly skirting around the walls and trying to go behind you
Can
guys.
Can I nature check it? Because I still think it's like, we thought it was some kind of creature, right? It was scuttling. So I want to roll nature.
Go ahead and roll.
18.
Ooh.
With your knowledge, now that you've kind of seen like this snowy realm and trying to have kind of isolated all the type of animals that you have in these regions, you know this to be a form of a very specific type of crustacean slash six-legged creature, distantly related to a yeti. They're almost
What?
yeti hounds, but they're notorious for having the ability to go invisible. They're silent hunters, but they won't attack unless provoked.
I
try to convey this in horse noises.
I throw out an apple pie.
You
So
pull
far
out
away.
apple pie.
Yeah,
Chuck it.
chuck it.
You chuck it against the wall as as Braywood suddenly remembers that they're carnivores.
Fuck.
A small
I make
splat
disturbing
hits
horse noises.
Your
wall.
horse accent
Horse
is
noises.
terrible.
And suddenly the sounds which had been slowly creeping away behind you guys just stops completely.
They smell the apple pie.
What smells the apple pie? I say not aware of what happened. Because nobody told me this was going on.
It's annoying. I'm not sure what it is, but I think it's someone who's invisible. It might be someone who's hungry. For apple pie.
Kytra, as you're talking with Sully in a very quiet voice, barely above a whisper.
1 second. Kytra has a slight migraine at someone invisible might be here, so I might as well give them a pie. I'm like, oh, what? Oh, jeez.
And then you notice that the bit of ice and snow caked on top of Sully's shoulders seems to be melting away a little bit. First the left shoulder, and then the right shoulder.
In like a someone's hair kind of way, or what?
It seems as though a little puff of steam comes up every couple seconds.
That's weird.
Sully's hot.
I think it's working. I think they want. Do I notice? Can I roll to notice?
Kytra has no idea how that might possibly connect to there being an invisible person here. So I guess I'm just like.
Emily, did you turn off the oven?
Yes.
So I guess I'll just point that out to Sully, being like, "Hey, Sully, you're kind of smoking. Breathing, really?"
Oh. Can I roll?
Go ahead and just roll a quick perception check for me.
Yeah. Hang on. That's performance. Fuck.
Now that you're kind of noticing it, because it was breathing on your armor, you weren't really noticing it. But
it's breathing. I see.
as you take a closer look, you realize something's breathing on down the back of your neck.
Very important question. Has anyone told Kytra not to attack it?
No, wait.
I attack it!
No.
Wait, why shouldn't we attack?
Because it doesn't attack unless it's attacked?
No, wait, stop.
It's breathing. What?
Before, like, I just want to slowly, not even look, like glance behind me a little bit, take the thing that probably has the most cream, which I think is a cupcake, and I want to just smear it against the thing behind, like, over my, like, marking it somehow.
You start smearing. You smear a cupcake with all its icing on the invisible creature behind you. As you do a quick hand wipe, the thing lurches back, but you manage to get a big smear of it. It seems as though like you've uncovered what looks to be a bit of a fur, a very a brown nose, and very very sharp teeth.
It's cake with icing.
Yeah. Everyone roll initiative.
Alright, fine.
Hey.
I think it's friendly.
I think it's crack! I think it's great bonfire! 15.
How do we do that?
You need your token on the board.
Did I do
So
it?
drag yourself onto the board if you don't already. Oh, wait, no, we already exist on there.
I don't.
You don't?
There we go.
Yes, there's 3 of you. Zoom out, you'll find yourself.
That
I
sounds
believe you.
It's a
vaguely.
very small room. I'll say there's only about a 10 to 15 feet circumference.
There's 2 sullies!
I deleted one because it didn't register.
Alright, I'm gonna be over here. I'll be like right here. So I think I was like near a wall inspecting orbs or something. So wherever the walls are, put me near one of them.
Yeah, I'll just say like it's like kind of it's a circular room. Let me just draw that real quick. Oh shit, that's not it.
Is our bird friend awake?
Your bird friend looks like it's prepared for the winter, for the long haul.
We've wrapped him up in blankets and he's just like a poof somewhere in the corner.
Good.
Let's call that the cave. And this is a full set.
He says, I'll stand guard over here. In the corner, away from whatever this beast is.
The 2 horses are up front.
2 horses up front. Okay.
Sweet.
And then let me just use this token, because you guys know what it looks like. And Sully will be right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
UI.
Okay, what's everyone's initiatives?
15!
3.
Funny.
What was that one more time, Gwen?
17.
17, nice. And then I'll put some here. Okay, as you guys whirl around to face the beast, all you can get a quick glance before it immediately just starts frantically running up and down. Looks to be a very vicious set of teeth, some short-haired fur on its face, and small, beady little eyes as they shimmer in and out of focus. It unleashes a hearty cry.
Okay, see now I can attack it. Oh, so this is the size of the room. It's not a big one. Okay.
Yeah, it seems as though it's a pretty large creature, but if it would fit in one tile, it would fit in one tile.
Oh, okay. What the hell does if it could fit in one tile, it would fit in one tile mean?
Oh, sorry. If it could fit in tiles like normally, it would.
It's
fit
a
in one,
medium creature.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Understood.
Is it the
first? Okay, so the first to go will be Gwen. Oh no, Braywood.
Okay, is it attacking, or you said it was running up and down?
It seems as though it's really agitated right now. You see the puffs of steam as it's snorting heavily.
And it's between, where's the door?
The door is over here. Fulce is at kind of the entrance to the tunnel. Still a snowman.
Braywood would like to just sort of like shepherd, she's still a horse. She just wants to like body check her friends out of the way and start edging everyone towards the door. She can't talk when she's a horse, but she's not attacking it. She's just trying to get people out of its home. So she's gonna try to like push. Oh god, I'm underneath Sully.
So I would argue that it's clearly not natural. It's something having to do with this orb. That's like got creature essences inside of it.
Okay.
Can you tell if it's a natural creature, like a creature that actually exists, as opposed to like a magic?
Check on it, and it's something that I know exists, and I know how. So why do we think it's an orb creature? Does it look like a normal one of these?
So that was just.
What you can tell is its face does appear different from what you know of that creature, but just based on the cream smearing and it's moving around, you're not able to fully identify it. But you do know that they are typically afraid of fire.
Well, I'm gonna give it the druid benefit of the doubt and just try to hip check Soliel out of the way and shepherd my friends out of its cave.
Okay.
But we need to get the orb.
Wait, tell me where the orb is.
Center of the
In
room.
the center of the room, kind of over here-ish. And then all
Okay.
around the walls, there just seems to be a little, almost soap bubbly type of little droplets.
Gwen is closest to it.
We can get it to
I
grab.
can just grab it and walk away.
Yeah, I feel like Gwen can just grab it on our way out and then we flee. So I'm just gonna be between Gwen and Solly and it. Like, I guess I'm next to Solly. We're both up against it, but at least we're forming a wall so that Gwen can grab it.
Alright. Thanks.
Next is
Oh, wait. Can I prepare an action so that if it attacks me, I strike back at it?
Sure.
Or if it attacks anyone within my...
one regular attack action, if it does decide to attack.
Yeah, if it attacks anyone, I'm gonna...
Sure, okay. And then next is Gwen's turn.
Alright, I'm just gonna casually pick up the orb and start walking.
The moment you pick up the orb,
Oh boy!
every single one of those little droplets on the walls shatters and kind of dissipates. Immediately, the entire room is filled with a sense of rushing life forces as suddenly this huge gust of wind blows out of the cave, just stemming from the walls and just immediately billowing out. The moment you pick up the orb, the creature suddenly roars one more time in a large, monstrous roar. I can't do it, but imagine it's scary, guys. Roar.
I'm pretty scared.
Roar. And then it begins to shimmer into visibility as the gust of wind billows past it, the thing seems to be growing bigger and bigger. Whereas before it was a creature that's, wow, kind of weird looking. Yeah, Greywood was able to kind of remember it. It was known as a tardy beast. But now, as these essences start pummeling into it, as they're frantically escaping this cave, the creature grows in size from a medium creature to a large creature. And before your eyes, its six crustacean-like limbs start growing some fur. Some of them got scales. Its face elongates almost into a vicious snout as vicious horns start bursting out of its head. You can't be quite sure what type of creature this is. It seems like an amalgamation of so many. And it looks vicious.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna put back?
And now, it's still Gwen's turn. I'll say that was your regular action to pick up the orb.
Alright. What are we guys thinking? She looks at you guys. Are we saying take it and run, or are we saying put it back?
Well, I don't think... Okay, put it back!
I didn't understand that, John Jack. What?
Put it back, but increasingly higher.
Alright, she puts it back.
Gwen takes one look at the situation and slams it right back onto his pedestal, but nothing seems to happen.
Let's go!
Alright.
And now it is Kytra's turn.
Kytra, without using an action, would like to appraise the situation and see if this is a thing we can fight or if it's very much runtime.
It looks very powerful, but you guys feel like you might be able to take it on.
Okay. So it's just one creature, right? We're not surrounded by a whole bunch of them?
It's just one creature.
Alright.
One giant chimera creature.
Fine. Okay. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go. Fuck you. You tried to kill everyone by cutting the rope. What?
Was that this thing? I don't think so.
I don't think it is.
We're still pursuing a sapient person, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, if it had crab claws and the
That's
cut was
possible.
roughly cut, it sounds like it's probably this guy.
That's possible.
What am I doing now? I'm looking at how on earth Hexblade's curse works. It's a bonus action. I would like to curse this guy. What?
No, go on.
I get a bonus to attack rolls equal to my proficiency bonus. Crits on a 19 or 20. If it dies, I regain hit points equal to my warlick level, plus my charisma modifier.
Nice.
Alright, and then I cast Branding Smite So on the one hand, that is slightly metagaming that it's fire, but on the other hand, it's my most powerful combat spell, so I think it's alright. So I'm gonna run up, I'm gonna shout at it and say, "Hey, fuck face!" Wait, no, hold on, let's get a better... No, fuck it. Go with fuck face. Hey, fuck faces! I run up, and my sword burning with rage, I smite the creature, d20, and then add, my frequency bonus is 2, right?
Uh-huh.
So add 2 to this.
Go ahead and roll the hit.
That is a critical hit. Fact.
Nice.
Actually, no, that's not a natural 20, not natural 19. So that's a 19.
But you still crit.
All right. Let me look up.
You used Hexblade's Curse, right? So. Yeah.
I did use Hexblade's Curse. All right. Okay. So, correction. How many bonus actions do I get?
You get 1.
All right. I do not use Branding Smite. Instead, I simply strike with sword.
What's the crit damage as well?
It's not a crit. Oh, no, it's a crit.
Because you actually curse it, so you crit a 19 or 20.
Yeah, but it's not a natural 19?
Yeah, but it still gives you the extra damage.
Cool.
It's not a natural 19, that's what it means. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, you don't crit. Sorry.
Cool.
So you do 12 damage to this creature. It writhes in pain. Where exactly are you striking it?
I would like to cut off the hand that I believe cut the rope.
Okay. You chop off at what looks to be kind of like a shrimp's leg, almost.
Yeah.
You just chop it off, and it bellows in pain as you crunch through the hard, chitinous shell. And then it begins dripping some bright blue blood as you scream, "Hey, fuckface!" And then it's smeared cream-covered face turns to you because it's its turn now, and immediately Torch Hydra almost tackles her and starts beating at her with every single appendage. One of them looks like an octopus tentacle. The other one seems to be a frog leg as a stamping.
Cool. I believe. Hold on. I think I did more than 12 damage. You get a bonus to damage rolls against 2 more damage. 14.
Ooh, nice. 2 more damage. Okay, let me write that in. Okay. Does an 18 to hit for you?
And 18 does hit.
No, it doesn't.
Oh.
Yes.
It does. Yeah, it does hit. So then, so I'm gonna go into the damage here. So the first tentacle reaches back and begins almost kind of caresses your face a little bit before immediately slamming into you. It deals.
Is it too late to use my second attack? Because there's no reason I shouldn't have, other than I forgot it exists.
Sure. While it slaps you once, you immediately slash back, saying, "Oh, I forgot I could do that."
Cool. Okay. So how much damage do I take?
You take 7 damage for the first hit. 2 of it is cold damage. Does that change anything for you, or is it just
nope.
the same damage? Okay.
Okay, and then second attack?
And the second attack will deal 6 damage.
Alright.
And then, as it's beating you with first the octopus tentacle, then the frog leg, you strike back at it. Go ahead and roll that.
Take advantage of its opening by attempting to kick at me and stab directly into its core with a we're gonna use this guy. Is gonna do the thing. Oh, with a 22, which rolled a 16. All right, so 16 damage.
16 damage, and it reels in pain. As right after stomping you, you slash back at it at its chest, and you kind of fillet its chest open a little bit. Scales fall down along with some fur. Next up, it's Sully's turn.
Okay, I am going to work myself up into a rage, and as a bonus action, and then I'm gonna go run for it and try to chop off. Does it have a tail?
It seems it has 3 tails. One of them looks.
To attack. I have 2 attacks. I want 1 attack to go to the middle tail, and I want 1 attack to go to the far right tail.
Okay.
I don't know what they look like.
So
But-
they look. One's a lion's tail. The other one looks to be a serpent's end.
I have a serpent. What's the third one?
The third one looks to be a almost kind of like a, I don't know how to describe it, like a zebra or a mane-like type of tail.
Oh, I cut the horse/zebra tail.
Horse tail, yeah.
Can we like just extract a single creature from this thing by like cutting specific parts off until it's like just a horse?
Maybe. So yeah, I cut the snake head first, or tried to.
Nice.
Is that it?
You managed to cut it off successfully.
Okay, and then the next one goes for the main tail.
Nice, and that'll also hit, so it looks pretty wounded at this point.
Oh, awesome.
I have a question. Has it hurt anyone yet? Did it
Yeah.
strike at Kytra?
It struck
Does it-
Kytra, yes.
Does that trigger my attack?
Yes. Go ahead and roll your attack as well.
Okay, Sully, are you done?
No, I have my spectral warriors.
Damn.
Shit.
Out really
That's like my favorite sentence ever.
So
I have my spectral.
I'm gonna copy and paste it. Yeah.
As a bunch of black tendrils suddenly emerge from, this time, the cracks in Sully's armor after the unnatural aging. The tentacles just start binding into this this chimera-like creature.
They look like hands, tiny little black tendril
I
hands.
think Kytra's current theory is that Sully just is Tar. That's what he's always been.
As the gooey hands go out and start clinging onto this being's things, finding as many handholds as it can. It's kind of a kind of a weird mix between a bark and a whinny, so like a dog and a horse screech. As it kind of like it gets back on 4 of its now 16 legs,
Oh,
it starts flailing around a bit.
We'll get that down to 0 eventually. I got one of them.
Now it's Braywood's turn.
Does a 15 hit?
15 does hit.
Alright. So as a horse, I'm going to strike out with my hooves. That's 9 plus 3 is 12 damage.
12 damage, okay. How exactly are you striking? Just like striking whatever closest part you can?
Yeah, I'm just rearing up and hitting it with my forehooves. Which part of it attacked Kytra?
yeah.
It was the tentacles, right?
Yeah, the tentacle and frog leg.
Then whichever one is closer to me, I'm just going to stab it with my forehooves.
Okay. And then you just start stabbing or slashing at it with your hooves, getting some pretty good slashes in. Takes 12 points of damage. And then, 12 points of damage. And then it starts reeling back and forth, struggling as the tentacles are still holding it in place. It's now Gwen's turn.
Alright, Gwen's gonna look towards it and she's gonna, but she's specifically aiming the legs, like trying to sweep the legs out from under it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
As that is the wrong, like that.
Like that. Okay. So
Yes.
it hits and you manage to deal 4 damage as you immediately do a leg sweep with your own hooves. Doesn't really make sense if I think of it like that. But it sweeps underneath the chimera's feet and trips up about half its legs. It starts tumbling on the ground, falls down a little bit, and starts pushing itself back up. Is that all you do?
Question, yeah.
Yes.
I think I go before Gwen in the order.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, that was my bad, because I just interpreted your last attack as it. That was my bad. Yeah,
No, that's chill, just making sure.
for sure. Okay.
Anything else
Gwen,
from Gwen?
it's your turn.
Oh boy.
She's just trying to get it basically,
Sorry, you're kind of cutting out.
trying to get it to be prone.
Oh, okay. So that's I think that should be more of a prone action as opposed to anything else. Unless you're just trying specifically to like break its legs.
No, I'm trying to specifically get it on the ground,
Okay.
so
In that
that's
case,
what that was for.
Go ahead and so you did a hit with it. So now what's
Break
your,
every single one.
yeah what's your strength DC save? I guess what's your strength?
12.
12, so 6. Okay, you manage to knock it prone on the ground. As it kind of topples to the side. Its many like legs, almost like a millipede fashion, all different legs, just start flailing as much as they can, trying to regain the footing on the slippery, cold surface. Greywood's turn.
I'm going to help with this horse assault. So, wait, what effect exactly did Gwen's attempt have?
She knocked you prone, so you have advantage to your attacks.
Sick. Okay, then I'm just going to help her trample it. We're just going to horse stomp everything together.
How big is it?
Alright, and does she get advantage now that this is prone?
Yes,
Yes.
she does.
Sweet.
Nat 19 plus 6.
Damn.
And then I'm going to roll damage. That's 7 plus 4 is 11 damage.
Nice, you do 11 damage to it.
And I have a question. I have an aura of spores that I can use against people, but I'm guessing I can't use that while I'm wild shape.
I would rule that you would not be able to do so, yeah.
Okay, valid.
And with that, next is Kytra's turn.
Okay. I am doing pretty good, health-wise. I can probably survive another turn or two. But I am going to go and branding smite the motherfucker.
Okay. You attempt to smite him brandedly.
Yep. My sword swings back around, now glowing with hot fire. I rolled in real life. That's 11 plus 6 is a 17.
Okay.
Is that it?
It hits. Is that with
All
advantage?
What?
That's with advantage, so you get a second roll. Let's see if you can try to correct
Okay. Here's the second roll. I'm doing that one in not real life. So that is a 17. Yes, it hits.
Okay.
Dealing 14 slashing damage plus 2 for being cursed, as well as an additional 2d6 radiant damage, which adds 5 more.
That's 14.
And the target becomes visible, and now it sheds dim light in a 5 radius.
Oh, excellent.
Nice. So you managed to do 21 points of damage to it.
Correct.
It starts screaming in pain. Now the voice almost starts to sound human-like in a sense, but still definitely beast form.
Oh dear.
But when I say human-like, I mean that in the sense that it seems like it's a coherent type of voice, in the sense that it seems humanoid. It's not in any language you guys recognize.
So I still stab it again.
Okay, go ahead and stab it again.
Nah.
You get one more attack, because
What?
you have advantage, because it's still prone.
Oh, right. Cool.
These, unfortunately, do not hit, as you start swinging at the prone creature, but
Alright.
they don't seem to hit their mark.
The value of sentient life stays my hand on this day.
Okay, next up, it's going to be the monster's turn. It immediately, seeing that it's getting really close to death, actually begins to pull some of its body parts back into itself.
Damn it.
Seems like as it's doing so, some more, seems like almost a small soap bubbles start popping out of its back and rush out of the cave.
That's not okay.
This creature begins transforming into, it looks to be more amphibious, a little bulkier in terms of muscle mass, and as it comes out, you realize that it's decided to take the form of what you know to be a slide.
A slime!
Oh god!
Slide. A slide. It's a little different.
Dude,
Hey, what now?
it's the
Is
guy.
it running away?
No, it's just transforming in place. It's a
Into a slime?
slod. S-L-A-A-D. It looks to be a giant,
Oh, I know what a slot is.
yeah, a giant toad-like creature with pointy tendrils for hands.
Yeah, it's,
It looks mad.
Do you have a picture?
Yeah, I have a picture. Let me just. He's a swole boy. but he's also a very big boy. Let me just
Wait, I want to see if they.
I just googled for slod.
just boop and boop. And
It's
I can just
long
paste it.
day.
I can't paste it. Oh, I can.
Long way back.
Oh, that's a good animal. I love.
I approve of this animal.
It is big and bulgy,
He is a friend.
and you know he can cast magic.
Oh shit! Cool. Well, it's not my turn anymore.
And that's all I can do for this turn. So now it is Sully's turn.
I look at its face, turn my halberd over so that it's kind of like the flat side is like facing, and I want to hit it like I'm swinging a bat.
Okay. You reel back your sword arm and begin swinging to attack. You hit with it and roll to see if you crit maybe.
Oh shit! Wait, can I crit? Do I crit?
No. Roll to see if you can crit, like because you have advantage.
Oh. Nope. Okay, and then
So
and then remember to roll the damage.
Okay.
15. Does that hit?
15 does hit. So
Okay.
it takes 21 points of damage as the tendrils hold it in place as you start bashing away at it. It looks very bloodied at this point. It seems as though it's about to keel over at any second.
Wait, we can feed it and then keep it.
Kill it!
But it's human.
No, it's no.
Are you sure? Okay.
You guys can take a quick moment to do a nature check to see if you know what exactly this type of creature can do.
It's a big growth monster. This is first character season.
I will be a druid. I need
Yeah,
your check.
so he gets plus D4 again.
You get an A as
Yes.
Yeah.
I typed name in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Okay.
kidding.
So Sully is aware that these things are capable of speech, and as such, they're also capable of casting spells. While usually they stick to their own communities, this one, for whatever reason, seems to be here, but that doesn't seem like it's the same creature that you were fighting a few moments ago. Seems a little different. But you did manage to see its transformation into this creature.
Hey, wait, I think you can you understand us? I mime with my hand.
It just glares at you with bloodshot eyes, bleeding from its many parts of its body.
Does he happen to look at all like a dead walker or whatever they're called?
Rage Walker.
Not at all. Not at all. Just
Oh, okay.
Do we have a mirror?
Oh,
Oh, the mirror.
Can I look at his essence, or do I have to wait for my turn?
You'll have to wait for your turn.
Fine.
Whose turn is it now?
It's Braywood's turn.
I think it's sentient, Raywood, if that's something that you care about, and I'm pretty sure it does. I'm not sure, but...
I'm currently a horse. Let's see what I can do about this. How bad off does it look?
It looks very hurt. It hasn't been able to do much so far.
Trying to think what I can do as a horse. Can I swap turns with Kytra so Kytra can do her?
Sure, you can just hold off on your turn for the moment.
Yep.
Next still will be Gwen, if she wants to do anything.
Gwen is... I thought
sorry?
Oh, no, wait, I'm not.
You're not.
Yeah.
Alright. Gwen's going to approach the creature and just sort of go through her languages. Can you understand me?
What languages do you speak?
Well, that's a good question. My languages are Common, Sylvan, Draconic, Thieves' Cant, Celestial, and Gnomish.
Awkward. Okay. It doesn't seem like as though it's understanding, but it does look very angry, and it seems as though it thinks you're hostile to it. Because you're gonna...
We're hostile, too.
Alright. I'm gonna just long shot here. Just gonna try to spend my turn basically trying to intimidate it. So just gonna rear off their hind hooves, strike really hard at the wall, and yell "Go away!" and wave her arms around.
Go ahead and roll an intimidation check for me.
17.
It doesn't look phased. It seems like it'd rather take you all with it. Seems like
Mm-hmm.
it's trapped on the ground, beaten, senseless. Parts of his body were chopped off before it transformed.
Alright.
Now it's going to be Kytra's turn.
Alright. Does it take an action to try to intimidate someone? Because I don't know what I want to do.
It is.
I want to stand. Okay. Still attack if intimidation fails?
No. You're trying to actively intimidate it, which is why.
Okay. Alright. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. What are we gonna do? Fine! I will hold my sword up very high, point it at it, and give it one chance, and try to communicate the message as universally as possible. I am about to kill you. If you are intelligent enough to understand this, stop attacking and I will let you live.
Yeah, I think that's like a performance check or something.
That is intimidation.
What you are you trying to persuade or intimidate it at this point, or something?
Intimidate. Like, you're going to die.
Okay. Go ahead and roll intimidation check for me real quick.
If you are incapable of thinking, just stop acting and maybe I won't kill you. Submit. That's a 25.
Woo!
Let's go ahead and roll contested. Sorry, fell off the table. Ooh, not 20.
Oh no!
I'm not even bullshit. I don't do any of that DM speak, but this is a nat 20 right here, and it is one bad boy.
All right. That's it. He's dying.
Braywood, you have one turn, or you have your turn that you had delayed until Kytra went.
Okay.
I give it an expression like, "Oh, well, there goes your chance."
Wait, what does it do? Does it just snarl?
It looks like with grim determination. Again, it's still bleeding. It's still prone, surrounded by a bunch of things, screaming at it in languages that it doesn't understand. Yeah, it's gonna do something drastic. Braywood, go ahead and make your move.
Oh no, I feel so sorry.
I don't anymore.
Fuck. Let's see. Braywood is not.
Fucking attack it. I'm about to die.
Yeah, I mean. This is a moral decision now, fuck.
I don't know what it was supposed to be, but alright.
Braywood,
I guess everybody in this party cares.
Braywood, it can understand language, and the only reason I said
So, like,
is I feel like you care about that, but...
Like, we don't know that it can understand language. We just spent a turn...
It can do magic.
We just spent a turn trying to communicate with it, and it didn't work, so at least as far as Kytra's concerned, it wants to die.
As far as you guys know, it didn't look like it understood common, so...
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do we understand how it did the shapeshifting thing? Is that common to their race?
You know that while sloths are shapeshifters, they normally can't do anything more than transforming into vaguely other humanoid or medium-sized creatures. You did remember that when the room was filled with a gust of air, a lot of those soap bubbles, when they burst, seemed to push through this creature.
I have a question. Can I strike it with my hooves non-lethally so I knock it out, but it's not dead?
Yeah, you can try. I mean, yes, if you hit and then its HP goes to 0, you can do it non-lethally.
Sick. Yeah, I want to do the final blow non-lethally. Because if my friends are trying to talk to it, Braywood's not going to strike it down.
I think if
I will say before you say your rolls, its armor or its body does look a little tougher now, whereas before it was covered with a weird mishmash of scales and fur. It does look a little its skin looks taut and very muscular now.
Yikes. So 11 doesn't hit.
11 does not hit.
Braywood is trapped in a moral dilemma and strikes next to it ineffectively.
Strikes next to it. Okay. Is that your last move?
I mean, that I only get one.
Yeah, but like you have your bonus action and whatnot.
Oh,
Is
I
there
don't think.
any- like is that it, all you can do?
I don't think druids can do anything with a bonus attack.
Oh, okay. Okay. The creature, sensing its demise and seeing that Braywood tried to lash out at one last time as a hoof stomps ineffectually next to its head, casts Fireball.
No more.
Everyone roll a dex save for me as
Oh,
a bright
Fireball.
light emerges from the pit of this thing's stomach. Everyone do a dex check or dex roll.
Oh dear.
I'm not sure if this applies. Does my thing, let me look.
It only applies disadvantage on melee attacks, I believe.
Right.
Yeah, so your tendrils will not be effective in
So
preventing.
you said Dex mod, right?
Say again?
Yes.
Is that Dex mod?
It's plus a dex mod, yeah.
Alright.
It's a dex saving throw.
18.
5.
Okay.
I have advantage on this because of I have a barbarian danger sense.
Okay, second level. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah,
Right.
you can definitely see this.
Woo!
Go ahead and roll for me. Let's see. And okay, oh, I guess I have to roll as well. Okay. So, as the creature, with one last guttural thing, seems to be like a language almost kind of reptilian in a sense. You guys don't recognize it, but you guys can probably figure out what it'll be afterwards. A giant pit of fire emerges from the depths of his stomach as its mouth opens up unnaturally large, and it's just consumed in a giant ball of fire.
Oh dear.
No.
And you guys will.
Oh.
Shit, I don't have enough dice. Give me 1 second.
Oh dear.
Oh. Oh.
Okay, you guys.
Friend.
Happy beach.
Okay, people who don't save take 24 points of damage. People
I
who
have
don't
one!
save take
What's the
half-
DC?
20
I have any health!
24.
What was the DC?
DC is it's Dex casting thing, which is DC 15.
Okay. What's the damage for full damage?
24 points of damage.
Okay.
I rolled pretty low on the thing.
Take half damage if you succeed.
You take half damage if you succeed.
Woo!
I have any health left!
Whew.
And then a full save is like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" As he's immediately buffeted by a giant fireball. Gwen shields arrow from the brunt of the blow, and in doing so, takes the full force of the fireball herself.
Alright.
And
How much damage is that again?
24 points of damage.
That's fine, guys. I'm still up.
Oh, good.
And
Five.
with that, it seems as though you guys are out of combat. The thing is now a charred husk. Its body looks to start ejecting a few more soap bubbles before right before your eyes, you guys see it slowly kind of transforming, kind of a mishmash. It seems to be half of the Atardi beast. Atardi beast is basically like a polar bear with shrimp legs, and a slod, which is kind of a bipedal toad-like creature. So it looks to be a weird amalgamation of both at this point.
After it explodes?
After
or
it
like
explodes, yeah.
Why is every living thing in this place fucking bullshit and then falls over?
What's your HP?
1.
Alright, everybody in the party gets 6 hit points back.
okay.
Kai gives a thumbs up and falls to the ground.
Wait, is it dead?
It's dead. It's dead.
It exploded.
It exploded.
And then exploded.
Alright. It kind of gets like a hoof to the chest and like clear, like that kind of motion, just boom, to the chest. And that's how she gets her hit points back.
Can I, like, appraise it to see if there's anything weird about it? Like, was it, like...
Yes, there was
like,
something weird about it.
Go ahead and just do a quick Arcana check. Anyone else who feel free to participate as
You
well.
get an A! You get an A!
Okay. I don't. Doesn't matter.
Wow.
Doesn't matter.
Anyone else like to try? You can tell from your one. It's definitely magical.
I look over at
It's
it.
a little weird.
I look over at it with a frustrated stare. Arcana check.
Nope.
Uh,
I get a 4. I don't care.
You're almost dead.
Gwen takes one look at it, sees kind of like the seams between the parts where the Slod body meets the Tardy Beast body. It looks as though some sort of magic. You're pretty confident that when you pick up the orb and then the giant gust of wind came through, some of what looked to be animal essence on the walls kind of pushed through its body on their way out of the room, and in doing so, kind of arcanically fused themselves together to it. And as you did more and more damage, you kind of rejected some of those bubbles out of its body, forcing it into different shapes of its own being. You're pretty confident by yourself that it was originally a tardy beast.
Oh no! We did this! Or rather, we did this.
Is there still a bubbling pit of monster here?
There doesn't seem to be any more bubbles anymore. It looks like whichever ones that have been forcing itself out of its body now have popped, and then with small gusts of wind, immediately billow themselves out of the cave.
So there's no more essence to look at?
There's no more essence to look at.
I go searching for essence.
Yeah, you take a peer outside, and you look towards kind of where you guys originally came from. Seems as though you see the rope actually like flopping around up and down, surprisingly, as it seems like it's being pushed with some sort of energy, and then it kind of slowly dies down. And
oh, they're escaping! Great.
Oh. Wait.
Yes?
Wait, the little spirit thingies that were in the bubbles are? What's escaping?
I mean, the rope is flopping around. Something is leaving. Or coming up!
Can we just stick our head down and see?
Yeah.
You guys stick your heads out of the portal, precariously peering over the edge. As you see what looks like, it seems like almost like a maelstrom of wind has like passed through the area of the forest below you guys. You see like trees bent at weird angles, weird angles everywhere left and right. Seems as though just a wind with no direction kind of pushed through. Seems like they spread around everywhere as far as you guys can tell.
Sorry, so did we just find out where all the animals in the world went?
Oh!
As you guys turn around, I gotta kind of ponder this this question. You take a look towards the mountain. It seems as though at the top, where it was kind of covered by, it seemed like almost unnatural storm, kind of cleared up a bit. At the very top, you see a bright, shimmering light. And can I have everyone roll a quick perception check for me?
Sure.
It is a very bright light. The mountain isn't that tall. It's more like of a giant hill.
Perception?
Perception check.
Yes, next roll gets an A. Kytra, or Braywood, you get an A.
I get an A.
Okay, so it seems like everyone is very perceptive. You guys all notice that because the light seems to be shining so brightly, next to you guys in the white, snow, seems almost to be like shadows reflected off that bright light.
Pause. Say all that again.
Bright lights in sky, and shadows, big shadows from the light on the ground.
All right.
Closer to the top.
Okay. Blay. Okay, cool. I take a short. Perhaps a long rest.
I take our hourglass. How's that?
The hourglass still seems exactly the same. It's in a red, suspended state.
You should rest. We can look.
Well, I'm gonna do 3 hit dice worth of healing right now. 6, 2, and I'm gonna count it.
Wait.
2. Yeah.
I look at Greywood and give her some more healing?
Are you looking at Braywood?
Yes. The dribbling, the berries.
I only give 1 hit point, I think.
No, I can do better than that. I do have a spell.
But the berry is free.
You do have 1 whole good berry's worth of HP.
I haul out the huge ass watermelon.
Is it rotting by now?
This one seems like it's pretty fresh. The previous one, Braywood had kind of chucked out of her bag. She kind of does it on a daily basis. I don't know what she does. Does she like use it for fertilizer? Does she just eat it herself, or how does she get rid of the ones that rot in her purse?
Just chuck some.
She probably like spreads it around on the grass? Question mark. Have we encountered grass in the past like
Ever?
Yeah,
ever?
You guys been walking on mostly grass and road, so. Yeah.
She gives it. She spreads it around as fertilizer, hoping that some plant will benefit.
Okay. And then so you pull out this giant watermelon-sized good berry, hand it to Kytra.
Cool. Is it rotting?
Is it what?
Rotting? Did we
No,
start?
it looks pretty fresh. It's a nice one.
I look at it, eye it over, and then eat it.
While Kytra's kind of nibbling in the corner at this massive fruit, are you guys taking a short rest or long rest?
Short rest, right?
I mean, I have 17 health left currently.
Alright.
Oh, Druid, Cleric, you go first.
To be fair.
Alright. First of all, did everyone get their +6 hit points from earlier? Because that was everyone.
I did.
Yes, I did.
Alright. I'm gonna give you... This one is the higher one. You also get 8 to that, and then I'm gonna save my last spell slot for, like, emergency. But get 8 hit points.
Not bad then. I'm alright.
Alright.
What are you at now?
25 out of 38. I can accept this.
Yeah.
Okay. As you guys are healing up to a pretty good amount, up in the distance on top of the mountain, you guys hear kind of a muffled boom, followed by a shockwave that kind of ripples through your guys' bodies, kind of a small one. You guys peer up at the mountain. As you see up top, there seems to be a giant burst of fire, and then you see, almost in the distance, kind of a few silhouettes falling off the side of the mountain, off the opposite edge.
I guess Kytra probably chuckles at that. Well, somebody's having a magical fight over there. Wait, somebody's taking your fucking orb, I say, and then stand up.
Wait, I thought you have the orb though.
No, we put it back during the fight.
And it's
Well,
not.
I mean, get it back, take it back.
Alright, alright.
You know that the light up top, instead of a bright white light, it looks to be a kind of a golden iridescent light.
Oh yeah, it's the golden orb. Okay, come on, they're taking our orb. We gotta go.
Shoot, okay.
Okay.
Do we have to climb the orb again, or like go up a mountain?
So, whereas the cave was at the foot of the mountain, you do see kind of a semi-natural trail that goes up the mountain, at least from what you can tell so far. Seems to need a bit of climbing.
Okay.
Okay. And so, so I'm assuming like Gwen kind of trots over to the cave and grabs the orb out.
Yeah. She'll pick it up, add it to her inventory.
Pockets it a little bit. It whispers in your ear, slowly, menacingly.
What does it say?
No, that'll be a story for another time. But, you guys begin climbing the mountain, kind of seeing with a bit of urgency, thinking, someone might be up at the top, based on that giant explosion we saw. As you guys are climbing up, you see another burst of light, as this time a lightning bolt seems to pierce through the sky, and then dissipates and fizzles out. As you're pretty sure you can hear signs of combat far above you guys, based on the...
It's another person though, so maybe we can recruit. As we're walking briskly, / climbing, I guess.
If we have to fight someone, are we prepared to do that? Because if it's an entire party, we probably need like all of our spells and stuff.
I mean, how about offer you right now? Because I'm fine.
I've used my curse in one spell, so I'm all right.
Health-wise,
I'm
how
at
many are you?
10.
So Gwen's honestly the most damage here with one
Oh,
spell.
Yeah. I've got like half my spell slots, a little under half, and 10 hit points. I could do another battle, but it would be risky.
We consider, if there's only one way down, we can always ambush them at the caves on their way back, because the only way they have to get down is through that.
Yeah, once they have the all-powerful magical item.
John, you just unplugged me. Oh, thank you.
Wait, do we not have the orb right now? Like, what do they have?
They're fighting for a more powerful orb.
Gotcha.
Maybe it is.
We gotta go get it from them. We gotta. Ooh, what if we have them fight whatever's up there and then we take the
And
orb?
then we fight them after they weaken whatever.
No, see, they get weak fighting whatever's up there, then we swoop in and take the orb.
I like that idea. You're thinking like a real warrior.
Hey!
I figure gun.
So we sneak in.
I figure guns out. Not.
We ambush them when they.
No, before they take the orb.
Yeah, when they win. But before they take the orb.
I finger
Or
guns
even
back.
like when they're in the middle of battle, but they're all like
Guns.
You guys are climbing and discussing at this point. You see kind of to the side, you see two paths at this point. One of them seems to be, or not rather paths, but seems kind of like climbing trails. One side looks to have punched-in ice picks as well as climbing tendrils. Seems like the rope was firmly attached at various segments, as if someone had progressed through here.
Okay.
You do see a sheer wall, though. It looks like it leads straight up the side of the mountain, up towards the summit. Seems like it would be a more difficult climb, but potentially faster, based on its sheer straightness.
I guess we should do potentially faster then, right?
Do faster. And then.
So wait, you said like so people are still up there? They didn't fall off the mountain or anything?
You saw some figures fall off the mountain, but then afterwards you saw another burst of lightning.
Okay, we should probably take a quick route then, right?
Yes, because it looks like we got awesome people.
Okay. As you guys look at the sheer wall, you guys realize it's actually a frozen waterfall. You guys try to begin climbing up. Everyone roll a...
Oh shoot! Yeah.
Oh yeah. You guys remember with a sudden jump, you guys have some climbing picks. With that, everyone roll initial athletics checks or whatever they want to use when they're trying to climb this frozen wall.
First roll gets an A.
Shit. I didn't want it an A, but I'll take it.
Athletics, you said?
Yeah, athletics. Athletics or, whatever you feel like might help in climbing.
Rip in peace.
Survival, maybe, or
Oh!
whatever you prefer.
Can I turn mine into a survival roll?
Sure,
Go ahead.
4!
Well.
Can I become a spider instead of? Well, you know what? I'm just gonna be myself so I can save a wild chain. I'm just gonna go for it, and oh god, can I try to rescue Gwen?
Sure. You see Gwen kind of not really thinking about how to climb a vertical wall. Decides to just start running up it a little bit, and immediately just tumbles backwards.
She tries to anime run up the wall.
I look at her very seriously and say, I was just a horse, so I understand. You have more force. And then she, parkours her way up.
Okay.
She attempts to parkour her way up. She managed to get a few good handholds and gets a little ways up the wall. Sully is, trailing super far ahead at this point.
I would like to establish with that roll, I, literally dig my fingers into the ice, rock, and just, pull myself up that way.
Sully takes one look at the ice picks and just kind of uses his own fingers and just jams it into the wall, making her finger hold as he climbs up the mountain through sheer force of
Did I even find the waterfall?
You kind of trip and hit your face on the waterfall before you can even get a foot on it.
Fuck. Ow.
It seems like everyone miraculously forgot how to climb, but But Sully's near the top, or Sully's near like part way up at this point, and can definitely try to do something to help out. You see a giant boulder next to you that's just sitting next to you. Seems pretty precariously posed.
Don't push it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna push it. I would like to, I have rope, probably. Like, I imagine I would.
Do you have
And I
rope?
would, huh?
Do you have rope? Or would your character bring rope?
We have adventurers
Yeah,
packs,
I
right?
have adventurers pack.
Yeah, so you managed to pull out about 50 feet of rope, start lowering it slowly. Are you holding the edge of the rope yourself, or?
Yes.
Okay, so Sully uses himself as an anchor point, lowers the rope down 50 feet, down towards the waterfall. Sully's just sitting comfortably at the top. You guys begin slowly climbing up, each and every single one of you guys.
We'll go last.
Okay, let's see, I think there's a weight thing. Yeah, so Braywood and Kaitra managed to make it up relatively with ease.
Woo!
Yeah, Sully's strong enough, but once again the dilemma of pulling Gwen
Horse. You're welcome.
once again
What?
over her head.
Somebody to help me just in case I can't lift sweat, but I think I can.
I mean, I can try to help if Thunk was here, Thunk would help, but Thunk's still unconscious, so...
Thunk isn't on my back.
No, Thunk!
Thumb gives you a woozy peace sign.
Just rest. Shh, little bird.
And then
Gwen
I mean, I got here.
Okay, we're holding the rope.
You
Me
guys
and Kai. Does Braywood want to
Do
help?
I make another
Yes.
strength check or something?
Sully, Braywood, and Kaitra all hold firmly onto the rope. Go ahead and everyone roll a strength check to see what your combined strength is.
Can I roll just a...
Okay.
a
And a bottle of skill. Unskilled.
what I get?
Sit.
So Sully's doing most of the, like, pretty much all of the lifting at this point. You guys just kind of clutching at the end of the rope, just slipping a little bit, but using Sully as a foothold. Gwen, you begin climbing up yourself.
Alright.
Go ahead and do whatever type of check you want. You can either do athletics check, or you can do, just make sure I'm looking at this one right.
Yeah.
Or you can do a acrobatics check to kind of like prance your way up.
Sure, I'm gonna name myself. Oh boy.
I think I can. And then,
And then you
I
can't.
really think I can.
kind of with like a scrambling maneuver, like kind of like you know that scene in Mulan where they're all trying to climb up the pole.
Mhm.
Gwen's trying to do that, but she ends up swinging back and forth on the rope quite often as Folsa kind of watches helplessly underneath her.
Wait, did Fossey not go up first?
Folsa hasn't gone up yet. He's kind of just like watching things, like kind of like holding his hands underneath, not sure what part to catch. As Gwen, with some difficulty, manages to pull her way up the frozen waterfall, but at this point, she definitely looks kind of weary, kind of a little sad at her struggle in climbing up. But other than that, you guys have wasted a bit of time, but other than that, there's no real consequences.
Alright.
He shimmies up the entire waterfall with relative ease. Just kind of uses the footholds and handholds that Sully left. He goes, whoa. Well,
There we go.
at least nobody fell. Okay.
What did you say?
At least nobody fell this time.
Yeah, you're right.
Makes a horse
Been over
noise.
times.
And you guys are at this, seems to be a little ledge face directly underneath what looks to be the summit of the mountain. It's directly opposite from what you guys can tell of the pathway. That seemed a little easier to get to the top. You guys are trying to sneakily put your heads above the summit, I'm presuming?
Yes.
Okay. Who would like to stick their head up first?
Who has the best perception?
I do. I'll
Alright,
go.
good.
I do not.
Alright.
You guys are perched on this little ledge below top.
Wow.
Okay. Gwen peers over slowly and immediately ducks her head down as, can I have you roll a dex save for me real quick?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Boom.
Hey.
As a giant, seems like a giant ray of something starts flying towards her face, she immediately ducks her head down. You know, barely the tips of her ears are, oh no, not even her ears, the top of her hair is okay. But as she had taken a quick glance, it looked as though there were two parties fighting at the top of the summit. Looks like there's only 3 or 4 people left standing, and looks like they were still dueling each other.
Let's not get involved. Hold on.
Glenn, what did you see?
They
What
were.
did they look like? Were they human?
Were they human, DM?
They were humanoid. They were definitely standing on 2 legs and wearing clothing.
All right. And it looks like there's about 4 people left standing, like 2v2.
Yep.
Now might be our chance to sneak around. Just as the last one falls, we should reach the orb.
One sec. How powerful is these people? Because there was like
Could
fire
you
and
tell
lightning.
what spell I'll hit you?
You can certainly do a... Does anyone know how to cast 3rd level spells?
Yes.
Yes,
Wait, he did it?
I can.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are pretty sure that was Fireball and Lightning Bolt? I mean,
Yikes.
That's
pretty
powerful.
straightforward.
They are powerful casters. We should be careful.
We should ambush them when we think that. I mean, can you tell is it 3-on-1 or 2v2?
It looks like 2v2.
Okay, so when 2 of them are dead, that's when we should strike.
What does the layout look like? Like, where's the orb? What's going on?
It seems like as though there seems to be a circular platform, almost about 30 feet in diameter for the top of the summit, perfectly flat. And it looks like there is a golden orb at the very center of the summit, attached to a pedestal with claw-like apparatuses dug deep into the mountain.
Now, here is the thing. I can turn someone invisible.
Oh.
Hmm.
Does invisibility only target myself?
Depends on the invisibility spell, I think. Which one are you?
It's invisibility. Touch or greet, here's your test.
How many? 1?
Once. How many spells do I have left? Let me check. I think I
Because.
only get 2 spells a day, right?
Oh, yikes.
Well, no, Warlock. It's never going to be more than like 6. Even at like level 20. Class. So spellbook, spells.
While he's taking a look, as Kaitra kind of mumbles to herself, trying to figure out what exactly she can do, counting on her 2 fingers. 1, 2.
Yeah, okay, I can cast a second invisibility, guys.
Wonderful.
And then you guys hear the sound of clanging metal. You guys hear some mumbling and chanting. Another seems to be 1 high-pitched voice and 3 lower ones, as it seems like clashing metal and mumbling spells are being blasted. You guys every so often feel like the shaking of like the hard rock surface as the explosions kind of tremble the ground.
Oh dear.
Guys, they're using their spell slot,
Oh shit.
so we're good, right? Is this how magic works?
Yes, they should only have a limited amount of spells.
That
Okay.
is a good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So should we just
how
throw
big-
what?
I think we should we like surround them maybe? Like,
We could try to get a surprise attack in on them.
yes. Like, are we definitely within range of like a surprise attack?
Yeah. You can definitely even cross across to the other edge
We-
of the summit.
We could stay around this area and then bomb rush them.
We could.
We could,
I
yeah.
like that idea.
You can also glance up again to get a second look and see if anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna look to see what we're up against.
Sure. Go ahead and roll a stealth check for me.
Oh.
You won't have
With an A!
Oh. Oh.
You could.
You hear a quiet nay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
You stick your head up cautiously over the top of the summit. You see now a little more clearly. It seems as though there seems to be four humanoids fighting each other. Two of them are clad in metal, while a third one is clad in leather, and a fourth one is wearing a robe. Seems like the one in leather and the robe are together, whereas the two knights or the two armored humanoids are trying to fight back at him. The leather creature is fighting off the two armored humanoids, while the robe person is like casting spells.
Okay, so the leather and robe versus two armors.
Mm-hmm.
So two paladin or warriors, or barbarians, like
they were definitely
a rogue or something, or like another barbarian.
Hey.
I slowly lower my head, like it just,
They look like they were in fierce combat, so they don't really notice you in the heat of the moment.
Awesome.
So it's not only a wizard battle. Okay.
Okay, so I relay the situation.
You also do see a couple of bodies that are like kind of lying limp on the ground, like around.
Did they have any sort of like similar symbol or sigil?
You didn't get a good look. You can always check again.
We can check when they're dead.
That's true.
Okay.
So should we just sort of wait and then?
Does anyone have anything ranged?
No.
Anything what?
Ranged?
These spells.
Our ranged
That was
fighter
so
might be a
cute.
little bit bundled up right now.
God.
I would want to save my spells for keeping you up, so I could charge them.
I think we should probably take out the spellcaster if he's alive at the end of it.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then both of the wizards both of the warriors kind of look the same. So I think we should just pick the one that looks more bloody and then go from there.
Or we take the stronger one, so either like
Oh, I like that.
they're both weak by the end, you know?
3 of the 4 people.
No, our goal is to get the last team remaining.
So let's do. I guess we should just wait and see what happens.
We should wait to see who kills each other off first.
As you guys are kind of like fiercely whispering to each other underneath the face of the cliff, you hear as you hear a sound of clanking metal fall down. A kind of a hand suddenly slams slams on the summit above you guys. Is his armored glove kind of dangling over the edge?
Hey.
You guys are like, kind of stooping down, kind of preventing someone from being noticed.
Oh boy!
Wait, he's dead, right?
He doesn't seem to be moving.
It's a. I like.
Be very careful with that you're about to do.
I stare at the hand intently to see if it's moving or if it's just like limp in the wind.
Go ahead and do a investigation check for me.
Terrible. Fuck.
You can't tell. You just see a drop of blood leave the fingertip and just fall into the off the mountain.
Gwen, is he dead?
What's dead?
You hear in a voice above you, surrender! You're the only one left by yourself now.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay.
Okay. When we hear victory shout, that's so much fun. And I would like to just discuss fighting intensify.
You hear in a voice above you, kind of a higher pitched voice, but still very male.
We're the good guys.
You'll never take us alive. We'd rather die than be your slaves any longer. And then you hear some pitter pattering, and then some a high pitched shrill like stop there, as you hear the pitter patter of boots run your guys' way.
It sounds like the bad guys are winning, so we can kill them and not be guilty about it.
While Kai's hurriedly whispering, the arm above you guys gets pulled back, and then you see with a running jump, it seems like an armored humanoid. You can tell actually now that you look a little closer that it was a tiefling. Jump off the side of the mountain, as holding the body of two of his comrades, and she makes eye contact with you guys as she's falling, and she's kind of bewildered. She's like, "What?" He's like, "What the fuck?" As he's like falling off.
Wait, Brooks, better idea. We put our fingers journalists. Let's shut up.
You
And she jumps off.
as he jumps off, you put your hand up to your mouth like shh shh, and then like he falls with a bewildered face until he fades from your guys' sight.
Excellent, all according to plan.
So wait, she grabbed another person, her
Yeah,
comrade?
it looks like there had been multiple bodies on the ground, and sorry, I was retconning it. It was a male tiefling that was falling down.
Okay.
Okay.
Seems as though there were a couple bodies that were lying up there, some armored, some not. He had grabbed another armored guy and jumped off with the guy that had been knocked prone next to you guys.
Cool.
Okay.
And then you just hear the sounds of
Right?
I'm sorry?
One person.
One person.
So it's time now.
So let's do the okay.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
We got this.
As you hear like a sigh of relief from the opposite side of the summit, you guys go 1, 2, 3, go! And then you guys immediately vault yourself over the edge.
Yes.
Surprise, motherfuckers! It's time.
Wait, Brooks. I'd like to throw my halberd at them.
Throw your halberd.
I'd like to cast Blur, probably. Yeah, Blur.
Okay. Let me just move them. Okay.
Oh, God, nice.
As you guys kind of pull yourself, you guys immediately vault yourself up the mountain face, and emerge and like ready and close to battle. Immediately, without even looking, Sully chucks his halberd and starts swinging in a wide arc. And in surprise, it catches the side of now that you guys have a better view. It looks to be a female high elf, and then the halberd just immediately slams into her side. With the blade first, and just gores deep into her side. She screams in pain. As what did Kaitra cast?
I cast Blur on myself.
Cast Blur, and Kaitra immediately, goes blurry.
We seem like a bigger army.
There's two of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now at this point, you have a male rock gnome. It looks like that was clad in leather armor. To the side of the high elf, he brings up 2 daggers in a ready position, clearly exhausted and bloodied. And
Hey, we got this.
Is it time for initiative? Because I'll shout, your days of collecting slaves are over, evildoers!
As Kaitra shouts in an intimidating voice, well, actually, go ahead and roll a performance check for me. Performance.
What's going on? Wait, what?
Yeah, didn't you hear? The losing party was like, oh, we better guys and be your slaves, so...
I know. So it's like, man, how you were just gonna kill him. Don't feel bad.
On a side note, while you're doing that for the performance, you also see it looks like 3 other limp figures next to their feet, whereas there's 2 more armored figures closer towards the orb that are on the ground.
Wait.
Oh shit, there's 2 more armored figures?
They're they look like they're not moving. They're lying on the ground.
Wait, is Kaitra rolling performance?
Kaitra's rolling performance. Or do you want to be intimidating, or do you want to put a good show of it?
I'd like to be intimidating, thank you.
Okay, go ahead and roll intimidation check then.
Hey! Motherfuckers!
And then as Kaitra starts screeching at the top of her voice, It's like, your days are numbered, evil doers.
Your days are numbered, evildoers!
As a rock gnome edges further back, kind of like hovering over the high elf as she's struggling to like stem the blood flow as she's pulled out the halberd at this point.
Okay.
She looks deathly pale. The male rock gnome kind of grunts like, more of you! Stay back, damn it!
No!
No, you stay back.
No, I just like the idea of replying no.
No.
He looks really confused because he's at the edge of the cliff at this point. It's like.
Wait, the edge of the cliff?
It's got the relative edge of it. It's like about 3 or 4 feet away.
So if one were to cast something like repelling blast.
Yes, hypothetically, they'd be blasted off the side of the mountain. Hypothetically.
He's trying to take our orb!
You're right. We deserve the orb.
You guys take a closer look now. Now that you guys have the time to do so, you actually see the insignia, or it looks to be a small badge on both of these guys and the bodies on the ground. Seems like there's badges both on the metal, the metal covered guys, as well as it seems like a more hodgepodge mishmash of adventurers on the other end. They actually look like they have the insignia of the Adventurers Guild, which is insignified by a giant A and a G on it, emblazoned on their coats.
To be very clear, the people we are attacking do not have this.
They all have it.
Okay.
Wait, why are you guys fighting each other?
We want to take the orb. Is basically it.
You're all greedy. This isn't part of your job description.
We're doing the same thing!
We're doing it for God.
Is it time to roll initiative?
Like they're bleeding. Like, oh, you're just more treasure seekers try to flow your own pockets.
I think they're crazy. I'm really.
Yeah, that's nice. Is it initiative time?
You guys look like you guys can do what you want at this point. They look very tired and wounded.
Okay.
You know, blast them off the side of the cliff if you wish.
No, wait. I have it.
Okay.
I pull up a body of theirs, like maybe a similarly armored dude, and put my halberd to their and look at them and motion.
You begin to do so until you realize, oh wait, I threw my halberd.
You don't have your halberd anymore.
You're kind of like motioning as if you had a halberd, but you don't have a halberd in your hand.
Well, I use my arm spike.
Your arm
like,
spike, and you put it up to the spiked dude.
No, to who an unconscious body on the ground.
So there looks to be 2 groups. Some heavily armored guys next to the ore pedestal, as well as seems like kind of a mishmash of a metal and leather on the opposite side.
Definitely the more heavily armored guys. I will take a helmet off and look as if I'm going to choke.
And then I'm going to say, so hey, while we're just sort of here talking and nobody's dying yet, what brings you here? And I'm like walking towards the orb while I talk.
Fuck. So evil.
Oh my god.
You're more employers of that man, aren't you?
As a
no. Who's that man?
Boltstick?
Don't lie to me. There's no other reason you'd be up here at this point.
So, yeah, the man. Yeah, I know him. I just forgot his name. Just tell me what it is.
There will be a reckoning. You strike us down in the Adventurers Guild.
So,
Can I have an intimidation roll, actually?
yeah, I mean, they look really scared of you at this point by your unnatural appearance of the shimmering, as well as your very loud voice from earlier.
Yeah, that's nice. What fucking man?
It's like, you know the man, he is! Give me a sec.
I really fucking do!
Wait, stop. I am going to kill your friend.
He's not my friend.
Okay, I grab another one. I'm gonna grab another.
He's also not my friend!
Oh, keep grabbing it. Oh, like, is this your friend?
Okay, so the first 2 armored guys, you can tell, one's a humanoid and one's a dwarf. And then you decide, okay, these guys aren't working out. So you start dragging one of the guys that they're kind of hunched over, or like they're kind of trying to defend. The gnome like looks as though he's about to try to stab you to like stop you, but he's so scared that he kind of like drops one of his daggers and hurriedly picks it back up. and you have dragged over what looks to be a human or a male Goliath.
Ooh.
And the man, you know, fucking Raz Truskov.
As who?
Raz Truskov.
Bless you. Cool.
You guys know that you guys were originally hired by the Adventurers Guild to have been seeking out the path. So you guys might not be wearing it right now, but you guys do have badges of the Adventurers Guild as well on your being.
But
Okay.
they're all fighting each other, so what's the...
They were all fighting each other.
I'm going to call the associate, unless he was more answer.
Oh my god.
Why do you want this orb? Are you also working for Hugh Hasno?
Yeah, Mr.
Hugh Hasno?
I don't even. Howard Hughes.
Howard Hughes?
Howard Hughes? What the fuck was the name?
Wait, can you spell it?
Are you talking about the name I just said?
Yes.
Oh my god, I was like, did I introduce another character without me knowing it? Okay, here.
Hasno? Hasner.
Howard Hughes.
You call him Mr. Truskov.
Raz Truskov. Okay.
True scoff. I love it. Scoff, sir? True.
Are you also working for Raz?
No, considering we just defended the orb from his lackeys.
Wait, you're defending. Why are you defending the orb? And
I won't tell anything. The Adventurers Guild holds it to their own until they don't.
Holds what?
The Adventurers Guild keeps to their own.
You realize the only reason you're still alive right now is because you're still talking, right?
The cleric or the elf seems to have been mostly patched up her wounds at this point. She's no longer bleeding.
Can you stop her?
You notice that she's edging closer to the edge of the mountain, and then and then she kicks off your halberd off the side of the mountain.
That was mine! I dropped the Goliath off the side of the cliff.
Like, no!
Okay. So that is overtly evil.
That was mine.
You hear a small thud at the bottom of the.
That was mine.
You monsters! There's nothing sacred in your eyes.
So Sully just committed murder.
That was
So
mine.
I actively look surprised, try to cover it up. Do I have to make a roll for that?
No one's really paying attention, but you can certainly roll to see how well you are yourself.
Okay, well, so I look very surprised at that. This, I guess, would be deception, right?
Yeah, to quickly mask your face.
Nobody got it.
Yeah, only you yourself caught yourself being surprised. And then, yeah, so basically, Sully just chucked the Goliath off the mountain the moment the halberd
I
pushed
didn't stop him, I just let him
You just
go.
let him
Stop holding.
Yeah.
I look at her and I say, you dropped something that was mine.
Let's play a game called Yes Questions and You Answer Them.
Oh, man. Fine, what do you wish to know as a gnome? It looks like his armor is kind of like broken up a bit by slashes, so you can see that the cold is starting to get to him. You see a bit of ice frosting over his some of his wounds.
Let's pretend I haven't been to the Three Kingdoms in a while. What does the Adventurers Guild know about this place? Like this whole second land beyond the Philosopher's Dilemma?
You mean you haven't been informed? We found paths in, multiple.
Yeah.
We know of these orbs. These are powerful. Some in the guild wish to hoard it for their own selves, and others, like us, we wish only for the good. To protect those orbs.
Do you know what they're made of?
Arcane energies? Fuck if I know. We just
close.
have to pick them up.
So what if I told you that their existence is a travesty upon the face of the universe and they need to be destroyed?
He snorts. And I take you for someone who wants power to themselves.
Yeah. Have you ever, actually held one?
No. We were tasked by Leyland Strum, head of the Expeditionary Force.
Somebody take notes on that.
Mish, I call upon you.
Alright. So you do realize we're a part of the Adventurers Guild, yes?
I mean, I don't know why they would realize that.
We're wearing the shit.
No, you guys have it stored on your bodies, but they're not all
Oh,
evidence.
actually, we're not anymore because we got warm weather clothes.
Yeah,
From
so they're all covered up.
I know, that's what Gwen says, as if it's obvious.
Okay, that's fun. Sully, you're like full of dead people, right? If you like touch him, can he understand?
What?
Can you repeat that, Kytra? And,
So you're like full of dead people from one of the orbs, right? If you like touch him on the forehead, can you make him understand or something?
I'm not.
Alright. I'm gonna...
not very convincing at all. After a
No.
pause, some of the tendrils gonna sneak out of the cracks and then immediately go back to the body.
Okay, you said that Elf is a cleric, right? Or
She
seems like a
does
healing
look as
spell?
though the magic she just cast looks to be cure light wounds.
Alright, so so Gwen points to her and says, "What's your domain?" You.
The healing domain, of course.
So, life?
Yes, life. I have no
Alright.
magic, so yeah.
Oh, fair.
Wait, pause.
Okay.
Mish.
Yes.
My goal has changed to make them join the party. If we could convince them they're evil, we could probably get them on our side very slightly.
Yeah, gotcha. Alright.
At least, like, not join the party, but, like, at least get our
Allies.
focus to grow, you know?
Okay, yeah, I can work with that.
This is gonna make it a lot more difficult, but,
I mean, we killed one of their friends.
So,
So he did throw away something that was really important to me.
it did get a lot harder to do that once that happened, but at least we will get the core.
Alright. Gwen's gonna look at the cleric and be like, alright, kind of separating ourselves from everyone else here, speaking as one cleric to another.
You gotta use your accent. You gotta use your.
Sorry, speaking as one cleric to another. Are we on the same page here? You see I'm a cleric, as she is literally covered with symbols of Selune.
Yeah.
Alright. I am a cleric of the knowledge domain. That means it is literally my job to know things. Does that make sense?
Yeah. As
So-
tears are like streaming down her face after watching one of her friends jump off the mountain.
So, I cast my magical cleric powers on the orb, and found out that every single orb is literally the amalgamation of the suffering of countless lives and souls.
And if this technology, and if these get into the hands of the wrong ones, back in the Three Kingdoms, people can start making more of these out of probably like whoever they want.
Haven't you been informed? We've
No.
already. This Adventures Guild already has their hands on orbs.
Yeah. So can we like undo that maybe? That's what I want.
We're trying to stop people from getting more of these orbs and find a way to safely destroy the orbs, because right now, just breaking them is actually worse.
She kind of pauses for a moment, reaches into her robe, and pulls out what looks to be a small compass. You guys see that there's a kind of a little hologram above the compass. It's a pretty fancy one. It spins towards the golden orb, but then it actually teeters back and forth between you guys and the golden orb.
Oh, it's a power compass. Hey, can we take that?
You're a liar. I
We
can
have
see you
orbs
for who
too.
you are.
Yes, we have
Conquerors who
orbs
seek
too.
only power for themselves.
Hey, can we have
How many
that?
do you have on you? How many evil travesties have you committed for your own?
We're collecting them, we're not using them.
Like, you're not gonna believe me, but we really haven't. Well, okay, we've now performed one.
She kind of chuckles darkly. I can't believe you. After our hard victory against not only the Rage Walkers, as well as, and you guys are actually surprised by this because no one actually told her what Rage Walkers are.
Okay, cool, fun, interesting.
But we fought off the lackeys of Raz. And now, you come here pretending to be saviors of some sort.
Alright, let me put it this way. Who is your god? Which god? Which god are you the cleric of? Does she have any, like, religious symbols on her?
You recognize it to be the symbol of the goddess Aranoe.
Aranoe.
Aranoe. Here.
Alright, what do I know about Aranoe?
She is a goddess of all things good and holy and happy. She oversees the life of sentient beings. Not really over nature, but just over sentient beings as a whole.
I like it.
Alright. Look at me. Look at me. Are you looking at me?
She's looking at you, nodding. Her eyes are like filled with tears.
Okay. Ignore the others for now. Just look at me.
What do you want, demon?
I am a cleric of Selune. Holds up her religious symbol. If I am lying, if I have said a single lie, I pray to Selune right now to just strike me down. I swear on the name of Selune herself, we are not lying.
Whisper the rock.
What exactly, though? Like, what exactly have you guys been saying? You guys are saying we're not evil, we're not bad guys.
Gwen's just talking about herself right now.
Herself, okay.
She is saying what she has not told a direct lie when she said we are trying to gather the orbs and find a way to safely get rid of them without destroying them. Mm-hmm. Because as far as Gwen is aware, that is the goal.
Okay. A bit of snow dust kind of coalesces above Gwen. Kind of seems interesting. You guys are a little confused, but for the most part, Gwen doesn't notice this cloud forming over her head.
Okay.
God is listening.
Thanks, God.
What's up, God? How you doing?
Anything I said right now about me, we're just talking me right now, I don't know about the rest of them, is anything short of the truth, may, like, Bahamut himself strike me down with his mighty platinum fist.
A second cloud appears over the first cloud.
Am I a good guy?
Bahamut is a good guy, yes.
Oh, cool.
No one like everyone but Gwen notices like two clouds forming over her head at this point.
What's going on?
Kind of shimmering.
How you doing, God? So can I do an Arcana check on that, by the way? Because there might be somebody doing something.
Go ahead and do a quick Arcana. No, do a religion check for me, please.
I roll a religion check too. To be like,
everyone who's interested, go ahead and roll a religion check.
Also, you, Alan.
I'm doing a religion check to see if this is real.
Okay.
I'm a druid. Fuck it.
5 on Arcana. I don't know.
You know it's magic of some sort. Sully, you know that sometimes when people invoke the name of their gods, they can send their harbingers to oversee it, like a judgment moment.
Oh, okay.
I feel honestly flattered about that, even though it's like, or at least like that this purpose is big enough for that, you know?
I relay the.
Braywood rolled a 5. She's like, I worship trees.
Actually, my character's like, it's clouds.
I like clouds. I worship clouds.
I nod, like, huh. Intriguing.
What do you want from me?
I want you to tell me, can you still cast spells today?
Also, your compass!
She grits her teeth. Yes, I can.
Alright. Do you know how to cast this spell, which is a cleric spell, as Gwen begins to describe Zone of Truth?
No, I don't have it prepared.
Alright. If I cast it, you will recognize that it is Zone of Truth, yes?
Sure.
Alright. I'm going to cast Zone of Truth right now on myself and everyone in the party. Okay?
Okay.
And you know how Zone of Truth goes. You know that I'm not casting a different spell.
Yes, I understand.
Alright, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. Alright, Gwen's gonna cast Zone of Truth which basically everyone who is standing within 15 feet of me has to make a charisma saving throw. You can choose to fail it if you want, which Gwen will do. And if you fail it, you can't willingly tell a lie.
A what?
That's it.
Roll
You
a
cannot
save.
willingly tell a lie. You can choose to fail. And Gwen will tell you guys, just fail it.
So
Which way would you fail?
Alright, I'm with you.
Solely passes.
You can willingly fail it if you choose, right?
Yeah, so for example, Gwen is choosing to fail this. Alright.
Okay. Are you centering this on yourself because you're at the center? You're kind of near the center of the
Yeah.
area. Okay, so it
Yeah,
actually
she is.
encompasses the entirety of the summit. Those two, they don't make saving throws. It looks like they'll just, agree with you. You can tell that now that you guys have spent some time here, kind of looking around, you see that everybody looks unconscious but breathing.
Conscious or unconscious?
The bodies on the ground, they looked unconscious but breathing.
Gosh,
They
shit.
did have deep wounds though. Yeah.
Alright.
Then first moving, I'm going to take the orb. I say out loud, and then I'm like, wait, fuck. Ah, shit.
Alright. And just to
Everyone glances
clarify
at
this...
Kaitra.
What?
Yeah.
Everyone glance at Kaitra real quick while she's kind of inching towards the orb.
She's
I think Kytra should take it.
Alright, before we do that, let's not scare the people here. Because we don't want to, be the bad guys.
You can tell your own lies, right?
No, so basically...
It's like, I think we lost that battle already.
Everyone in the circle, except for Soli, cannot knowingly tell the truth. Not knowingly tell a lie.
So you aren't affected as well?
No, I'm affected.
Okay, did you pass the saving throw?
I chose to fail it.
Okay, and then, so you can't say that technically because you guys actually jumped up with the intent of scaring them.
Yeah, she's saying we don't want to be bad guys to, like, kill them.
No, we don't want to scare you.
Oh, okay, that's true. Alright.
Don't want to scare you any further.
That's true. I take that back. We don't want to scare you any further. Let's just talk. Right now, everyone in the circle, except, did any of the NPCs try to resist the throw, or did they all fail?
No, they willingly failed it. They
Alright.
look like they're backed into a corner, both literally and physically.
Okay. So, everyone in this circle, except for that one, points to Soli, is compelled to is under the effect of my spell. None of us are lying to you. We literally cannot.
Go on. Okay. What are you trying to prove here?
I'm trying.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to prove that we do not like these orbs. We want to find a way to dispose of them safely, and I guess now originally keep them out of the hands of the guilds, but now we want to, I guess, take them out of the hands of the guilds?
Raywood is going to gesture to Gwen and say, she made an appeal to you as a cleric. I make an appeal as a druid. These are against nature. They are horrifying on a fundamental level and should not exist. We would like to have them stop existing, and we certainly don't want anyone important waving them around, using them for something terrible.
Then why do you want the orb? What are you gonna do with it?
I think we just addressed that several times. We would like to make them...
Yeah, but how would you destroy these orbs?
We've done it before.
We need it to figure out how to destroy it. And we did do it before, but then, it, may have infected Soli with a death virus or something.
They can't be safely disposed of, but we're sure there must be a way to dispose of them. It's going to require research.
And we need that orb to figure that out, and we also need you to somehow begin spreading this message out in the rest of the guild. Because this land is really fucked up in a lot of ways. And it kind of destroyed itself a while ago, and I'm like 95% sure, except I don't use that term because that's something that John Jack uses, and I'm very sure that if this technology does get to the Three Kingdoms, all of them are inevitably going to destroy themselves in exactly the same way.
This world is scarred. The people are gone, the wildlife is gone, the landscape is forever changed in a horrifying, necromancy reminiscent way. And we don't want to bring that home with us.
But you know the situation of our homes. If it wasn't...
No.
It isn't the backstory.
The situation of our homes is that the people are largely alive. I would like that to continue being the case.
What type of life is a life on the streets, begging for scraps to eat, not enough food to even feed your children? That is not a life I wish to live.
That. Yes.
Wait, are you saying?
You guys remember from the backstory was that the three kingdoms were in constant warfare over lack of dwindling resources, and after hundreds of years of warfare, resources have dwindled to a very low amount. So through an uneasy armistice, the Adventurers Guild was commissioned with finding a path through to the lands unknown in order to find the rumored resource-rich haven.
Yes, but at least we have a world to struggle through.
How much more do we have, though? How much more do we have?
What if that's not the solution? What if the solution is for all of us to, like, live here peacefully? You know, there seems to be space here. Maybe people can move in here, but, like, without the orbs.
People have moved in here already.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's not a bad idea. So you can continue to do that, but not with the orbs. The orbs are evil.
Hey, I have a question for you. You said, like, scavenging around, like, fighting for scraps, so, like, that's the kind of life you grew up in? Like,
Of course.
it's exactly those kind of people that these orbs are made out of. So is a better life to live one in which your soul is ripped from your body and turned into a suffering mass of energy to be used by rich people?
I have had no evidence of anything you say. While you may believe this to be true, I would not know for myself unless I would have an orb.
Let me put it this way. You are the cleric. You know how the Identify spell works.
Yes, I do.
I cast Identify. That is what Identify told me. That means that is how the orb works. There's literally nothing in between. I'm on the zone of truth. Unless
you
I
may
cast...
think you're speaking the truth, but there's always ways around this. You know this. It's knowledge.
Oh my God!
You know this. You could be compelled to say these words. You could even genuinely believe them. But I would never be able to trust you over my compatriots in the Adventurers Guild.
Oh my God, who brainwashed you? It was very effective.
You guys remember that,
Several of them.
You guys remember Leyland Strum, who's the head of the Expeditionary Force? You guys remember seeing him as you guys were being commissioned as in a kind of a boring auditorium thing?
Okay.
You recognize that he's pretty famous people throughout the Three Kingdoms. You guys know him as, or he is reputed to be benevolent, kind. He's always striving to prevent war from breaking out again. He's always trying to find the peaceful solution and trying to find the third option always. That's what you know of Leyland Strom. His reputation.
Pulsing, have you heard? What is your opinion?
Well, I to be honest, I kind of feel like a bad guy right now. Because, I do not judge. These lands may be evil, but the Three Kingdoms are a good place. But, you know, warfare has turned people's hearts cold. It is not something that, you know, I wish to return to without a solution to fix.
So, what is the...
Can Braywood...
Go for it.
Braywood claps her hands together, looks very, like, just dead-eyed stare at the NPC party and says, "We have discovered weapons of mass destruction. They specifically seem to destroy the poor, wildlife, and other things that are not typically defended by riches and social power. As Kytra has said, this is not something we should bring back to the kingdoms where it will be used on us and our people and the things we care about."
If she says I don't believe you one more fucking time, I'm taking the orb and we're leaving.
I'm fairly sure this is a straightforward concept.
Yeah, I say that out loud in the zone of truth.
Nice.
You're aware, you all seem entirely aware that these are a source of arcane power. They are a weapon. That seems to be under complete agreement.
But think about it like this. They've already paid the price. So what? There's so many of these orbs in existence. Why should we not use what they've already suffered to build? What is the difference between using ancient architecture and using the ancient technology they've already prepared for us?
Well, think of it this
You're
way.
missing the point of weapons of mass destruction.
Ancient architecture doesn't plead for help.
How can you even be sure they're alive?
We've talked to
It
them.
pleaded for help.
But are you sure they were alive?
Yes.
I walk over and take the orb.
You pull over the road. As this is all going on, you pull out the orb from its pedestal,
Yep.
and a rumbling shakes the.
Yeah, I thought that would happen. Yeah, I thought that would happen.
It seems as though the sky above, as the clouds, the storm clouds above, had clear up a little bit. You guys are now gazing at a sky that's just filled with red and black and streaks of purple. It seems like an entirely alien, foreign section. And
All right, let's go.
yeah, the sky seems to be slowly fading away from red to black to slowly to purple, but it's all happening kind of gradually at this point. Kytra, as you grab the orb, you are filled with this, I'll just say it to you because you probably share it, but you're filled with a sense of power and majesty. You feel like a surge of self-confidence come up.
Oh, man!
Yeah, you feel like almost like a king would when he's looking upon the subjects of his own people, as if you wielded fathomless power.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the feeling fades away a little bit, but you are still filled with this this invigorating this feeling of raw power.
Ooh. Do I have to make any kind of will save, or am I just like...
This is all. It's not compelling force. It
You
feels
feel.
like you have power, like true power, at
Okay.
your command for once.
Does it start whispering in my brain?
Nothing happens at the moment.
All right! It's go time! Yes!
And pray tell, who told you of the existence of these orbs? The Adventurers Guild is already aware of the other varieties, but this one, its existence was kept secret. How would you know?
Braywood is going to say, "Are you unaware that we're explorers? This is somewhat our job."
Normal adventurers would not be able to find their way in so easily.
We're not normal adventurers. We're better than the usual.
We came before you did.
We came here way before you did. We survived. The bird on my back came from another group. But the point being is we sort of... we're good at this.
Have you met anyone else in these lands?
No, and this is frankly disappointing.
Oh, that's
You
not...
can't... That's a lie.
Oh, wait, you're right. I thought, I was thinking in terms of, like, people from our...
We have met...
I'm gonna amend that. No one else from the expedition forces, which is frankly disappointing that this is how this has gone.
Seems like you're choosing your words very carefully.
Hey,
And you see that after some time that she has been slowly she's been slowly trying to cast a spell without you guys noticing. She's just been like.
Oh, can we roll perception?
Sure. No, this one's pretty obvious at this point because she's been doing slow finger motions for the somatic parts.
What are you trying to do? Can I tell what those finger motions are, given
For a
we have
healing
the same spell?
Looks like she's trying to heal like her collapsed allies next to her.
Oh my God. Do you want us to stabilize them? We can stabilize them. We have medicine people.
They are stable.
Then they'll wake up in an hour. You'll be all right.
she wants to.
Assuming we're all even alive in another hour, stuck in your hands.
We have no intention of hurting you.
Hang on a sec.
I say this out loud. If you're going to heal them and have them attack us when they just get out of their unconscious state, I will hit them where they stand. Don't do that. Let them recover on their own.
They're in agony. They're bleeding, in pain. So what
No,
if
they're
they're in
not.
consciousness? Can't I at least alleviate their suffering?
They're not bleeding in pain. They're stable.
You hear a groan like, "Oh, I'm in pain," from.
He'll be fine in an hour.
Stabilization just typically means that they can kind of get up on their own afterwards, but it doesn't necessarily mean like they aren't suffering from broken bones or
severe wounds that aren't life-threatening.
They're going to.
Alright. If you want to heal them, that's fine, as long as you promise that they aren't going to get up and attack us.
I have a sudden thought. This is out of character. Is everyone still wearing their bracelet?
What bracelet?
Which one?
Yes.
The kind that
Yes.
if you're not a friend of the Fae, suddenly becomes a tangle of
Yeah.
mistletoe
I was never wearing
that
that.
restrains you.
Oh.
Yeah.
How many of us are wearing those?
I have two.
I don't have a.
I don't have
I
any.
didn't know it restrains you, though.
I don't think we've tested it because no one who isn't a friend of the Fae has. Oh no, we have. It just became shitty sticks.
Yeah,
So
what
not-
if we just have... We do have 50 feet of rope, though. What if we just tied them up?
I like the idea of tying.
And Ray was just gonna say, if you're going to leave them to die in the snow, we may as well be more about it.
Well,
I know how to
the
do it.
idea wasn't to leave them to die in the snow. The idea was to leave them to live in the snow.
They're going,
I'm not sure that's how snow works.
they're going to track us back.
Can we just leave?
Yes. I like
Like
that
now?
Alright. If we leave you guys now to heal your friends and get out of here, can you promise not to attack our retreating forms?
We won't attack you as you descend the mountain. This I swear.
Alright.
Oh, wait, I want to
Zone of
roll.
truth.
It's a zone of truth.
Yes, but I want to see if like she was deliberately picking her words. Like, will they attack us outside of the?
Go ahead
Well,
and roll
she
an insight
probably-
check.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna guess right now that this isn't like it won't attack us ever again, but I feel like this is the closest we're ever gonna get.
This sounds.
Sully can't tell.
It's like a temporary truce.
Hang on.
is my guess.
I have an important question. Out of character, DM. Is Thunk awake? Because I feel like Ashley should get a vote. Because I feel like Thunk would kill these people.
Thunk is kind of groggy at this point, just gives a thumbs up. But I think Thunk would probably like half conscious at this point. The cold as well as the injuries, I think Thunk really sustained a lot of serious wounds in the
Right.
fight.
I can always stick my head in Ashley's room and get her vote if we want to take a vote on murdering people.
Sure, if you want
Because-
to ask her real quick. What's your opinion?
Why are we murdering them? What the fuck?
I thought it's not.
Otherwise, they're going to come after us.
No, I
Alright.
tie them up so that they have a.
So they die slowly in the cold.
They can.
Well,
I literally had no intention of killing anyone. I think we should just
yeah. Yeah, I also
What
agree
if
that we
Gremlin's
should
okay
not
with
kill
killing people?
people.
Sully's okay with
leave. God damn, I'm not actually.
That's a splinter in the middle, you know?
Haven't we already killed one?
Yeah.
Sully threw one off the mountain.
I dropped him off the mountain. I didn't throw him.
Drop.
Same.
You distinctly remember that it was at least 50 or 60 feet that you guys climbed up a sheer cliff. And assuming Sully, tipped him backwards a little bit, might have fallen further.
Further than 50?
Probably further than 50. Braywood
Alright.
takes a quick glance over. Oh, yeah.
So yeah, we've already murdered one of them. Like,
Alright, so let me put it another way.
Probably. Left.
What we can do is we have two
I glance over and I look at you.
But not really. I look like I'm like when. I should feel bad. I'm feeling bad.
Braywood says, "This is all absurdity. We are all from the same expeditionary force, but these are artifacts too powerful to fall into unfortunate hands."
Not gonna believe you.
Let me put it this way to the entire group. This is speaking to my party and the
No,
others.
this is Braywood justifying why she's down to kill people. Uh-huh.
Yes.
What?
Alright.
No, shush.
So-
Go on, what?
We have two options here. The first is that we agree to disagree, temporary truce for, let's say, 24 hours. 24 hours, we just back away. After that, we want to try to kill each other again, sure.
You have our word. We will return to the Adventurers Guild.
And we will give the same word, that for 24 hours, we don't do anything. That's our first option.
Wait.
This...
Start.
Sorry?
I would like to lose the unconscious guys to get a,
In front of them? To get
Well, we
what?
know.
to get a,
They are a bunch of heavily armored, and, these adventures look like they could be decked out with potential items, by the way.
You're gonna loot their dying
armor.
friends?
No, they're not dying. They're stabilized.
Let's not
Friends.
Yeah, they're slowly healing friends. I'm disarming them.
leave their weapons with them, though. They promised they wouldn't attack us. They do need their weapons to get out of here alive. Don't loot them, Sully. The second option is that we do something that kills them either by attacking them or by leaving them to die, as Braywood suggested. So, to my understanding, are those the two options here?
Wait, the two options are leaving them as is or looting them and then letting them die?
Looting them is not an option. That's not on the menu.
Basically, the options are like either truce
or
or
leave.
like they die somehow is basically what's
Okay.
going on. Is that correct? Like, am I misunderstanding anything?
Is this out of character or in character?
Kind of both. In character.
Then, in character, Kaiser's gonna say, like, I know I talk a big talk, but goddamn, kill all of them?
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying, is that what you guys think the options are?
I
Because
think the option is, why are we not leaving? We got the truce to not fight them. Let's go.
Well,
I
we're
agree with that.
Yes.
So let me put it this way. If we do anything other than walk away and leave them alone for the next 24 hours, I will personally defend every single person here with my dying breath against any attacker. Which means the first person who attacks, I will cast my most powerful spell on them, because I have a spell slot left.
Okay.
Alright. Can we go yet?
Yeah, let's just leave.
Okay.
We leave.
And
Alright.
with that, you guys just start walking away slowly. Do you guys go anywhere specifically to maybe pick up maybe Sully's lost halberd or inspect the dead body or do whatever as you guys are walking?
Do we want?
I want to. I'm just gonna start walking off myself, and I'm gonna go look for my thing.
Also,
Alright.
focus on that dead body.
You
They
see,
kinda want
you see not too far down, like only about 20.
I'm looking for my house.
Which is at the same place.
Yeah, they both got thrown off the mountain.
One got thrown behind the elf, the other one got thrown off where you guys had climbed up, basically. Basically,
Say that-
they had climbed up kind of like a slope type of thing, and you guys climbed up a sheer cliff. So,
Gotcha.
Sully's halberd's actually about 15 feet away, and kind of in a stuck in a pile of snow.
Okay.
And
pick
then,
it up.
the other dude's body's like laying at the bottom of the steep ass.
So, if we had climbed up the more easy route, he probably would have been okay.
It seemed like you intentionally killed him. Did you not mean for him to die? Off a cliff. Yeah, that's how cliffs work.
That kills Sully.
It's
Kills people.
What? I didn't know.
Listen, if we're going to kill them, it needs to be all or nothing.
I agree.
Off dead.
I would much prefer to avoid
Wait.
bloodshed. It seems entirely unnecessary, but if we've already made an enemy of them, they're just going to keep coming back.
Well, they made an enemy of me.
They disarmed you!
I
Sully!
disarmed them.
No, you murdered someone. Sully, I am concerned. I want to know if you feel like you're being affected by whatever's happened to you.
No.
I side-eye with
It's
Claire.
Sully standing outside of the zone of truth at this point, but you know, she's kind of towing the line a bit. No.
Wait,
She didn't fail the saving, or he didn't say.
I didn't fail. Yeah.
But
I'm like, fine.
very candidly.
Oh, I think we're... Oh, is the zone of truth still turned on?
No,
Yeah.
No, it's on where I cast it, so we've left.
Yeah. But no, I'm just... Braywood kind of side-eyed the cleric. Like,
Alright.
Braywood's pretty sure that Sully is being affected by the screams of the damned, and she's not sure if she's impulsively throwing people off cliffs as, like...
It wasn't in.
It was pretty.
It was
impulsive.
pretty impulsive. You just murdered these
That
guys.
was like the most impulsive murder I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was
Sully,
very.
She's gonna be... she's gonna walk alongside... She, like, side-eyes with the cleric, and then she walks alongside him, like... Sully,
Red?
No.
Having an important moment over here.
Yeah, it was a character moment.
I just want to be sure. I know that we didn't know what might happen going into that, but it seemed like a drastic reaction. Are you sure you're not feeling something changing?
I think it might be partially because maybe the aging is a little bit weird. You know? Have you ever
You feel like
puberty?
You feel like the thing that was done to you by the spirit has affected your decisions.
No.
That is what you just said.
If you guys want, you guys can roll contested, like deception or persuasion.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll insight, and I'm also gonna say, can we examine you again with Kaitra's mirror and see that nothing's changed?
I consent to the mirror.
I'm gonna roll insight.
I look at his essence.
Hannah, you get an A.
Thank you. Insight with an A. Oh, wait, it succeeds anyway?
Nice. Yeah, so, you guys pull up the mirror to Sully.
Changed are you normally?
I think all you know is that he was lying.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So all you get from insight is you're just sort of looking at her being like, are they telling the truth or not?
Okay, then
Most
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop and say, Sully, I can tell you're lying. It would benefit you to speak truthfully. If something is happening to you, we can help you work through it. We can help try to understand it. I don't want to find you killing people closer to home next time.
I think my intention was probably not to kill them, but
You threw him off a cliff.
to drop.
Off a cliff.
Yeah. But the intent was to drop him.
So
The outcome
you're
was-
avoiding the question. The question is, what is happening to you?
I think I just felt real upset.
Do you normally kill people when you're upset? Up till now.
The answer is yes.
I feel like, okay, Ross, is this my first, hang on,
Say again?
I'm
Is this your first murder?
no, is this my first, not murder, is this like my first, first time going out doing something?
It's not, but this is the first time, you probably killed a humanoid.
Like-
You
like-
actually
like-
haven't fought a single,
Tradition.
Oh, your first adventure.
Like my first adventure, like would I have gone out with like the others that I knew?
Yeah, you would have gone out. I would say that they weren't really, you would probably fight like magical beasts or anything, not really other people.
They weren't what?
You would have fought like magical beasts, not really other people. Yeah, so it'd be more like, you wouldn't be fighting sentient, like humanoid intelligence, like people who talk to you type of people.
I mean, I did stuff like that normally. The only reason why I hesitated, for example, with that slog thing, I'm not sure what it is, but like, you felt strongly about it.
I did not. You were the one who hesitated first, and I appreciated that.
Oh, well, I thought it was because you felt strongly. I guess next time I went.
Oh! Whoa!
I care about the natural balance of things,
Was that
Sully.
Say the Conqueror?
I want you to understand, I care strongly about the natural order of things being protected. Some would call it a form of neutrality. I don't care about individuals I am unconnected to, except insofar as throwing people off cliffs for frivolous reasons concerns me, because it could mean your behavior will become more and more concerning as time goes on. Do you understand?
Yes, but I think that as long as you tell me what to do and what not to do.
Sully, that's not necessarily reassuring if that's something that you've previously been able to determine for yourself. That means you're asking us to have a level of control over you. We can't guarantee that we'll have that or know when to implement it.
Unless
If you want us to have control over you, you'll have to communicate very clearly about that, or we won't know when it becomes dangerous. Do you understand? I'm coming at this from a very pragmatic standpoint. I don't
That makes
care who lives and
sense.
dies, that I am unconnected. This sounds
I
cold,
mean,
but
me
it is
too,
how
I
we
guess.
have to live in this situation.
It makes sense.
But I'm concerned about your behavior in a practical sense. Do you understand?
Yes. That makes sense.
I look at Gwen.
I like that response. Yes, I do.
Gwen just gives you a thumbs up.
Yes, I get it.
Alright. I
While
like
this
the con- Yeah.
While this conversation is going on, Kaitra's kind of sneakily going behind Sully, pulling up the mirror. Whereas before you guys had seen a writhing, roiling tar pit, what you see, Kaitra, this time actually appears to be kind of a still, like, just quietly still tar pit. Seems like there's one or maybe two figures in there. One of them just standing up straight, the other one kind of just hunched over in the pool. That's all you can see. The pool is eerily still.
There's two figures in it, though?
Two figures, and then kind of further into the image seems to be like three vague silhouettes. You can make out what looks to be a glimpse of the armor off the snow's lights, but that's about it.
Like, it's solely guesses. It's always like 5 people now.
It's your interpretation.
Alright, that's weird.
Yeah, before the writhing, roiling tar pit was kind of like obscuring your view of everything in there, but now you have a much clearer sense of that.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Tapes.
Right. I do like the conversation that has been happening here. I feel like good progress was made.
I feel like very few solutions were reached, actually.
That's true. So I'm going to interject here with a little bit of personal information. You see, I'm a cleric. Sorry?
I heard.
Okay. Okay.
You really heard?
You know about the whole cleric thing, yeah?
Salome and what's his name?
Bahamut or something?
Bahamut?
Oh, I literally just pulled out Bahamut because he doesn't like it when people lie. I'm not a cleric of Bahamut. That would be telling a falsehood.
Mm-hmm.
But like, just sort of calling upon gods that don't like liars. But that generally means I don't like it when lives are taken for no reason. So maybe as a personal favor to me, sorry, and like maybe the entire party, let's all try as a party not to kill people when we don't have to, because that would kind of be considered evil.
So, like, do those clouds mean that, like, God officially cares about our quest? Because that's kind of cool.
What's clouds? There were no clouds. The sky's completely clear.
They were definitely. Oh well, it's fine.
She's not.
So we should just not kill people.
Yes.
When possible, yes. It causes
Ideally.
more problems than it solves, on average.
Unless they're trying to kill us and we, like, really need to kill them, or, like, if they're evil, like, objectively evil.
We made ourselves a number of enemies.
We really,
Exactly,
really
though.
tried the opposite, though.
But if you think about it, that's a big amount of probably coming after.
Yes, and they'll come after us more forcefully now that we've killed one of them and shown our hand.
Oh, so they are like telescopes that point towards our orb.
Oh, can we?
Not telescopes, compasses.
Can we walk over to the Glock? By the way, all of our
I thought we walked away. I'm pretty sure Gwen's not going to approve of you looting the dude you just killed.
He's dead. He won't care.
So what, guys?
Character. He's dead. He won't.
I thought we were taking off quickly because we have only 24 hours to book it.
I think we were leaving.
You guys
You
were
can
sauntering down the mountain, kind of not too stressed out. I mean, aside from the verbal thing going on, but you remember that the people at the top of the summit were kind of just staying there for a little bit, warily watching you guys walk away first.
If you had always been planning to loot the guy, we can, if with the information, we can have done it like.
I mean,
before.
Braywood will complain, but she wouldn't necessarily fight you over it. I think Gwen would, though.
I would say I feel like the truce kind of implied that we just leave each other alone for 24 hours. That includes.
Fine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you call a truce, you can't then strip a friend of his shit.
Technically, he's dead, so he's not part of the party.
Yeah, he's dead, so he's not a part of the truce.
I mean, if he's still a party member, but no one has revive spells at this low level.
Resurrection.
It's very expensive.
But he's there.
Also, yeah, the zone of truth only, makes you speak the truth. It doesn't keep you to your promises. So it's up to you guys.
Well, you swore on your god, didn't you?
Yes, what I swore very specifically was that if anyone breaks the truce on either side, I will personally attack them.
So don't loot their shit.
Basically. Sorry?
Braywood will actually say in character, don't disturb the body. I don't think Gwen would approve. I don't think the party would approve.
just for 24 hours, Sully, let's just leave them living and dead alone. As a personal favor to me, I will
Fine.
give you something pretty instead.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
And Gwen starts rummaging through her inventory.
I use. Okay.
Also, they do have compasses that point towards us now. So.
We don't know the range on the compasses, to be fair.
It's true, but they do exist.
Compasses are typically known for having a fairly long range.
This is
It's true. If we encounter them again, if they try to attack us again,
What
then
happened?
we can. Well, if they try to attack us after 24 hours, the truce is over. Like.
So then, do we spare them again? Or...
I mean, if they attack us, we're gonna attack.
Okay. Very happily.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll work on that one. Oh.
They know about the whole, turning poor people into tortured battery cells. So if they still want to come take the orb after that, I have no words for them.
That's true.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
As you guys start heading down the mountain, and then,
Like an ending point to me.
yeah,
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say as you guys exit the mountain, leave the portal using the rope, and descend down the mountain. You guys find your way back off the ice cube through a bit of precarious climbing. Make your way down.
Hey, we didn't have to repay that Earl guy.
Yeah, you guys just basically walk out of that area. The hourglasses seem to they kind of revert a little bit, and then they go from red, and then with a quick burst, all the crystals and snowflakes flow to one side, and it looks like it could just be flipped over again. And then you guys just leave that area. You leave the ice cube around. You guys are presumably headed back to Isa's place, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then as you guys are leaving, actually, yeah, when you guys are leaving the Hiberian, you hear a wailing at the top of the mountain. Sounds like it's coming from that area where the body fell. And you guys hear, in the distance, because there's like no sound in there. I curse you! I curse you with all the powers of Ursino! You'll regret this!
Cassius is like, oh my
We'll
god.
find you!
It's okay.
Oh my god.
It's okay.
Oh my
It's
god.
okay. We were the bigger centaurs here. We were all the bigger centaurs. Congratulations.
And then, can I have you roll a quick perception
pause?
check for me, Gwen?
Pause. What did you want to do?
Sully's been trying to say something for a while.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was like, I don't remember what I was saying.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Gwen, do a quick perception check.
A perception check. Oh boy, if they actually cursed us, I swear.
That was really long distance curse to like a tiny portal.
It's a really,
Okay, that's fair.
It's been pretty quiet in that area. The sound has been
Okay.
traveling for some time.
Okay.
After you hear her curse you, you don't really see anything that, magically affecting you or anything, but you do see a bit of a shimmering light on the mountain. You hear the sounds of agonized chanting in the distance, and you're pretty
Oh my.
confident that it sounds like the spell of a reviving spell in the distance. A spell of maybe resurrection or some such.
Well, then,
Fuck, we could have.
It's very funny because Revivify only works on someone who died within the last minute.
It is
And
not.
we're
It
definitely.
is not the chanting revivify.
Fuck, cause out of character, I'm pretty sure that interesting things could happen if we could cast a reviving spell, like, into the orb. And now we've met people who can cast those, so they're beautiful to that magic, and they hate us.
to be fair, we do have a cleric.
Yeah,
I
but
can cast reviving spells.
You can? Which ones?
Revivify.
Yeah, Revivify is not going to help us, like, soul tormented orb from 1,000 years ago.
Oh, that's true, but I will get those in like a few levels.
Yeah, but we finally made friends who have resurrection and they want to murder us.
That's
That's
a very
true.
strong word. But you guys make your way back to Isa, who greets you with a warm smile. She's like, "Oh, did you guys have fun? Did
Yes.
there.
Can you humor me for a second?
Very, like, probably no.
I guess could we like stop here and then do the Isaac thing next time? There's a lot of.
I'll also say you guys level up at the end of
Woo!
the session,
Hey.
so I'll let Ashley know as well. But I'll give you guys a recap as well
Sweet.
as some interesting details.
Woo! I think I do want the ring, by the way, that lets me change one letter.
You do want the ring?
Yeah.
Okay, for sure, for sure. I actually have tailored special items for everybody. If in the events that they didn't have an item that they wanted to choose.
Okay. Well, I'll still
Cool.
look at Lily.
Should we go through these this time or next time?
Up to you guys. Whoever wants to ask.
I want to know.
I want to do mine next time because I want to go through it in character. But y'all can do yours.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I like the idea of waiting in character, so I think I'm personally gonna wait for that.
Okay, okay. And Gwen, do you want the item that you requested, or do you want something else, or?
Yes, unless there's something that you thought of that you like better. I'm
No,
totally
I just
down.
think it's just different for like your mobility-based one. That's why. Because I just basically picked out everything that seemed like it would be. They're all like basically homebrew in the sense that
Mhm.
it'd be interesting. So we'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that was really fun.
Great. Thank you guys so much for the session.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I really like the idea of like finding two parties fighting and then deciding how to deal with that situation. That was really interesting.
Yeah.
I was like, now? Yes, now, let's go. That was that was fun.
That was fun. Awesome. Well, thanks.
Thank you, bro.
Well, sure,
Yeah,
guys
thank
so
you, Brooks.
much. Have a good 2 weeks, and I guess we'll reconvene in December 11th. Does that work for you guys?
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. I think so.
Okay, for sure, for sure. And yeah, I'll let you guys know about the items next time. One detail is that you guys didn't see the bodies of the dudes who jumped off the mountain.
What?
You guys didn't see the bodies of the guys who jumped off the mountain. You know that one tiefling that jumped off.
It's
And I'm just gonna give you the names
Oh.
now so you guys can remember.
Oh, hey, we can be friends with them instead. Enemy of my enemy.
Hey.
And then
Hey.
so you guys saw Belmic, the high elf, and Arzara, the rock gnome.
We never put
Can you write it down?
Remember that. I'll write that down.
Thanks.
We did eat one.
Just in
I
case
think-
you guys need a reference aside from gnome and elf.
Hey guys, guess what level up ability I just got?
Ooh, what is it?
5?
No, check it out.
Read thoughts!
Channel, read thoughts. Oh, awkward.
Oh no.
Exciting.
Uh-oh. Next session then.
Oh no.
Emily, have you ever played a character that is not chaotic neutral?
By the way,
This is a legitimate question.
Turn from a
Solid
really
is
dark
true
to a
neutral.
Still person with 5 kills.
So is Calvarax, but they all act pretty damn chaotic neutral.
Okay. Solid is true neutral. There are certain things that they will do that aren't true neutral.
So it looks pretty true neutral. That were like neutral good.
Thanks,
I mean, same
Solid.
as Calvarax.
For this section.
Hey, that's what happens when you age 30 years. It toughens you. No,
You're fucking killing people.
I didn't kill anyone.
Yes, you fucking did.
Threw him off a cliff.
So I have to do some stuff.
Hey, Thumb's in the background having fun with his rock.
Thumb was like, thumbs up.
Yeah, that was,
Alright,
that was a really good session. Personally,
That was
I was really
fun.
entertained by what you guys are doing at the top of the mountain. Pretty entertaining. Yeah, sorry that Ashley wasn't able to experience it, unfortunately. By the way, Ashley, you leveled up, so.
Oh, I don't know.
And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. I will see you guys in about 2 weeks. And if you guys have any feedback, just hit me up. Let me know what you guys want more of, what less of. I'll say that the transforming monster was supposed to be a lot more engaging, but I really didn't expect you guys to just kind of New York-style beat down on that guy before he could even do anything.
I tried my hardest.
Who tried to scare it?
Because my thought process was, I was gonna, have it like kind of sniff you guys out, kind of give you some lore, and then you, you smeared some stuff into his face, and then you cut off many of its legs.
Good times.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Oh yeah.
That slaughter was its final form, but it had other forms that you quickly cycled through. The highlight was, Gwen knocking him down and just everyone's just kind of mashing on his
Tearing into this poor guy.
I believe in my original Pathfinder campaign, there was a part where like a lizard ran out onto the road and was supposed to like start talking, and it was like a soul fragment, it was a shade and everything, and they just fucking killed it in 2 turns, and I was like, alright,
No, what happened was
they were gonna learn something cool, but now bye.
a lizard ran onto the road, and we were like, should we talk to it? And then Emily's character point blank shot it and moved on.
Oh, that's awkward.
It happens pretty often.
You were gonna learn some stuff, it was like, that whole shades thing, and I was gonna like introduce this thing, but no.
Hey, I became leader of the shade.
Wait until we, I know, but like, it took.
We could have had a lizard.
There's no okay.
That lizard could have been friends.
There's only room for one lizard in this school. It's me.
And I will say, at the end of every session now, everyone's gonna pick someone that they think deserves inspiration die for what they did this session. So it's like kind of an MVP vote, makes it a little easier. I think, yeah. I think Braywood still has hers that she got from like the first session that she never used.
Wait, who did?
Braywood got. I gave Braywood inspiration die.
I'm hanging on to mine for something drastic.
I feel like Gwen deserves this one.
Yeah,
Gwen.
Oh,
Okay.
thanks, guys.
Gwen gets the inspiration die this time, and other than that,
You said
yeah.
at the end of level up.
I'll say again.
You said at the end of each session or at the end of level ups?
At the end of, I'll say, like, I'll choose specific sessions I thought that were particularly eventful, and then give out the inspiration die then. This was pretty eventful, I would say.
I would say so too.
Well, I will use this power for evil.
Exciting.
Wonderful. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Guys,
Good
thank you guys
night.
so much. See you guys in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was fun. See you then.
For sure.
Bye.
Bye.